Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining me for the ThePearCast episode 3. I am, of course, Dan Eggers, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Paige Eckstein.
Hello.
Connor Potts is here with us.
Hello.
And we got a special guest with us this evening. Who's our guest?
Oh, Chris Brimmer, the internet's favorite Dan uncle.
We are, just
here.
to clarify at the top of this podcast, we are in no way related.
100% related. That's why we look alike, except I'm the cute one. If we're the Beatles, it's like, you're George, you're Ringo, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm John and you're... No, wait. I'm Paul and you're John.
I wish...
So he's dead.
That's the revelation.
I wish those who were listening could see how drastically different we look. Like, we couldn't look any less related.
I don't know.
really
I can
think.
see it.
You see the
I don't
family
know.
resemblance.
Chris's brother doesn't really necessarily.
No, my brother looks more like you than he does me.
Yeah, no,
actually.
Chris's brother looks.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know
My
why?
siblings also look more like Dan's siblings than
Yeah.
mine. It's weird.
That's what happens. That's the curse of being an original force in this world.
Anyway, guys, this is, of course, the ThePearCast, a monthly news roundtable where we recap the most salacious,
The most important news.
the most important, the most fallacious entertainment out there.
The most
Interesting.
blowjobby news on the internet.
This will be an interesting one.
Anyway, guys, so I guess we're going to get right on into it with our first news story. We got man jailed for battery after pouring ketchup on girlfriend.
Oh.
Look where it is.
Okay.
Of course, this story comes from Florida.
There's two sides to every story.
There is two sides to every story. You want to know this guy's side? A Florida man was arrested last week after arrested last week for battery after allegedly pouring ketchup on his girlfriend, according to the arrest report. An affidavit from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. 37-year-old Peter Jacob Wagman was arrested after the girlfriend called police. Don't read the article ahead, Connor, here, because this next line's great.
I'm looking at the guy's face.
The girlfriend told the officer she was sleeping. The girlfriend told the officer she was sleeping in bed when Wagman poured ketchup on her, according to the affidavit. The couple had been arguing over the infidelity by the girlfriend. She went to bed and woke up to ketchup being poured on her. She says Wingman was yelling, "That's what you get, bitch."
That's all.
All right. Listen,
I'm on this.
this guy's got better conduct than a Florida preacher,
Yeah.
in my opinion, right?
All he did was pour ketchup on her. How, like, that's not.
That's basically like if he poured mustard on her and was like, "You tangy bitch, get out of my house. I don't want you here." That's not so bad.
Upon arrival, officers found the woman covered in ketchup. Wagman denied the claims, but officers noted that there was ketchup on the right side of his pants.
Oh.
He got caught.
Evidence.
He got caught red-handed. Some would say.
Oh.
This is like CSI Florida. Like he smelled like tomato paste.
If it'll make you feel better,
So we arrested him.
he was booked into jail
5-year
and, on a misdemeanor charge of battery and was released on only $150 bond.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So-
surprised they didn't
I
just
love
tell her
it.
to get over it.
What makes it great to me is him yelling, "That's what you get, bitch."
Paige, imagine. So, what side are you
I
on?
would laugh. If that happened to me and I woke up to that, my first reaction would be, "This is so absurd. He's just yelling
Yeah.
at me. That's what you get."
You-
Like, I would laugh. I wouldn't know what to do.
If you were that woman, you'd be like, "Oh man, I smoked all your meth. I got free trailer rent, and all I had to pay was like a ketchup shower." I won this year.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy.
2019
Put this
is
guy
my
up,
year.
on
fine
the, put
with
this guy
this.
up on the screen so people can see him, and we'll describe him to the people
He
listening.
looks
right
like Ed O'Neill's stupid brother.
now. He's doesn't have a lot of hair. He's got a big round face. I mean, he's kind of a normal looking dude, though. Honestly.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
some marks on his lip and his ear.
Listen, that's herpes. Just let's move past that.
And so that article came from the WZTV Staff Wednesday, and it was written by Adrian Mojica.
Mojica.
Mojica?
Let's not get tied up giving proper credit to the authors here.
All right.
Let's move forward.
Moving on to our next story. From battery to whatever this is, man discovered in trunk of Dodge Challenger about to be auctioned.
Alive?
Alive.
Whoa.
So
How long was he in there for?
this article kind of has a lot of like jokes in it, which I don't want to read because they're not funny.
Yeah. This sounds like the middle 15 minutes of a Chevy
What if-
Chase movie.
So we're gonna
What if
start.
the listeners think they're funny?
They're not. According to a report.
The listeners are wrong.
According to a report by
They don't gotta say
LNP,
so.
which I don't know what LNP is, a man was discovered inside a Dodge Challenger that was delivered to Mannheim Auto Auction. Darren Leeds, an employee, said the auction house discovered the person inside the truck as he was doing a usual full inspection photo taking process of newly delivered cars. He said, "I opened the trunk to take a picture. and there was a guy in there. Leeds said in the LNP report. He said that he immediately ran to fetch the man a glass of drinking water because the man wasn't moving a lot.
What? Why? I would call 911 before I was like, gee, mister, you look like you need some water.
Well,
Get
for
him
all we
out of
know,
the
though,
trunk, too.
guy was
Yeah.
like, trunk guy could have been like, for water, for
Yeah.
real, just water,
But
nothing
it
else at
makes
the
it
bottom.
sound like
Right.
he was just like, he wasn't moving a lot, so I got
Yeah.
him some water.
Did they interview the guy that was in the trunk?
Hereby known as Trunk Man.
They
Yeah.
didn't interview the guy with the trunk in the trunk, and they didn't release any information about the source of the Challenger, the car that was being auctioned. They did, however, identify the man as Leon Parks, 25, of Bronx, New York, according to Northern Lancaster County Regional Police. Parks is a fugitive who's wanted in the state of New York on parole violations and weapons charges. Parks was identified through fingerprints, but police were unsuccessful to know why and how he got into the trunk of the Challenger.
Doesn't he know?
Because he was uncooperative.
Uncooperative.
Here's the thing, guys. This is our spec episode of The Sopranos is based on this.
So
This event right here. That's what this is. This is like the modern organized crime.
one of
guy.
what I think the funniest parts about this article is whether Parks was forced to stay within the car's confines is beyond us. All we know is that modern cars have a release system from inside the trunk, so he could have gotten out at any time.
It's a Challenger. It's got to be modern.
Oh my god.
wonder-
Do you think he just
all they have to
chose
do
to
is
stay
feel for
there?
it, yeah.
Like,
Do you think they left him like mustard and
Well,
ketchup
what's
and
his-
relish packets
Can we
that he
find
could
out his
mix
age?
do you
together?
pour ketchup
He's 25.
on
He's
someone?
25. I said that.
Okay. well,
Yeah, he's 25 from Bronx.
Maybe
New
he
York.
went to a crappy school and they didn't teach him that. You know?
Maybe. He's uncooperative after getting stuffed and stuck
How'd you get in the
his
trunk? Back off, pig.
I don't want to fucking talk about it.
It's my life.
Moving on to something lighter and a little.
Lighter.
Let's give credit to that real quick, huh? I got that from MotorOneNews.com.
Okay.
Motor1.com, and it was written by Jacob Olivia. And moving on. Don't read this title, Connor.
Sorry.
16-year-old caught driving 105
Looking ahead.
105 miles per hour tells police he had too many hot wings and really needed to bathroom.
Two bathroom.
Is that what he said? Is that
That's what it
he
said.
Bathroom as a
Was
verb.
this like an Amish kid on Rumspringer who doesn't know how to describe driving?
Rumspringer?
I have to bathroom.
This was in Canada. A teen caught speeding in Canada reportedly told police he urgently needed to use the bathroom.
That makes so much sense that it's in Canada.
Yeah.
He's not speeding for any like bad.
No, he's just got to
No.
poop.
Yeah.
Police said the teen had told him he had too many hot wings and needed to use the bathroom right away. He received a $966 fine for speeding and $203 fine for driving without a supervising driver. So he's not even legal, I don't think, to
He's got,
drive.
like, a
guarantee
permit.
He's got like a driver's permit and he went to fucking Buffalo Wild Wings and has the shits because he got the Chipotle wings.
I guarantee you, if he would have shit his pants on purpose when he got pulled over, they would
Just
have said,
immediately.
"Just go."
Yeah. Everyone would have been too embarrassed.
Yeah.
And and the terrible irony is that when you adjust for inflation in America, that's a $3,000 poop.
Yep.
That
Oh,
kid took.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
It cost that kid $3,000 to not shit when he wanted to.
And looking at the
He got
picture,
stopped.
I wonder if that's actually a picture of
Oh, that's
of his
the
vehicle.
the picture I put up. If you want to, here, put this up on the screen.
That looks like he could have pulled off the road and ran into any of those bushes.
This is the actual
Yeah.
this is
I
the actual
guarantee you,
cop
yeah.
photo.
If
The
you-
cop
yeah.
uploaded this to
If
Twitter.
that
That's how
cop
this article
walked
came
up
out.
on him taking a shit in the grass, the cop would have been like, I get it, kid. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your life is bad right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you like
absolutely.
$400 in tickets because I'm a corporate shill for the
And I
state.
have to do this.
And I have to do this.
I have no
but-
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've paid at least $1,000 in debt by
Right,
pooping
right,
on the
right.
side of the road.
Not to mention the dignity.
Dude, speaking of pooping on the
What
side of
is
the road,
dignity worth?
hold on. We were
1,000
headed
quid.
we were headed out to her mother's house yesterday, and we're driving on the highway. Right, this is completely unrelated.
Where did you poop, Dan?
I didn't. I tried
The
to
trunk.
honestly. Between me and you, I
Duh.
try to poop at home mostly. I'm one of those guys.
There is no between me and you. It's everybody who hears
The
this.
internet.
Between me and just me and you and nobody
internet.
else. I try to only poop at home. I'm one of those guys. You know the guys I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I
Ones that
hate people
poop
who
at home.
only poop at home,
I
personally.
don't only poop at home. I poop at my parents' house.
That's home.
That's still home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that
just
counts.
the first home, the original home.
But back to your original point.
If anything, that says
back to my
that's
original.
more home than current
Yeah,
home.
I don't know if
exactly.
you even saw him, but we were driving over a small bridge, and there's this car pulled
didn't
over
see
in
him.
like the worst spot possible. And I look over, and it's a dude who has like, I know I'm not a dude, and I don't pee like a dude, but do you have to pull your pants like down to your knees,
If you're a
like
child.
underwear and everything?
If you're a child.
Was
This
he
was
wearing
a-
overalls?
No, it was a full-grown man, like underwear and shorts pulled down to his knees, pissing off the bridge.
Okay.
I saw way more of this dude than I ever
He was
wanted to in my
cognitively
life.
disabled. I'm gonna say it right.
I wonder
I
if
would say
maybe
so.
shitface. Both hands
Was
were
there a
involved
driver in the
in
vehicle
aiming.
still? Did you notice?
I did not. I was pretty focused on
Look,
what
if
was
you're
happening.
a child, I was at the City Museum a couple weeks ago. Walked into the bathroom. Kid's got his pants and underwear down to his ankles.
This was
Whatever.
not
Yeah,
a
but you say,
child.
who wears your parent at?
Yeah,
Who's
well,
there
his
being like, don't show your asshole to people while you.
The funny part about
That's
that.
unnecessary.
The funny part about that is his father was standing right behind him, laughing.
Oh
at the
my
fact,
god!
saying
Jesus Christ!
you need to step up your game.
All right,
Stuff
yeah.
like
well,
that.
that's good.
Right.
That's what you do
But,
as a dad.
like-
you know,
Like, that's okay. It's a little
It's a kid. No,
you
the
know?
guy was
Yeah.
like 35 or something.
Yeah.
Like,
That's. I mean, I guess we don't
it
know
was
what
an
he was going
experience.
through,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
he was living his own indie film that we haven't seen yet.
And moving on to a story that's going to gross Paige out because we always have to do a story that
Why?
grosses Paige
God
out.
damn it, why?
Meatball.
Oh.
Meatball tubers. UK man donates frostbitten toe to Yukon bar. Nick Griffith had his big
I'm gonna need
toe.
more context.
What?
Nick Griffith had his big toe posted at the downtown hotel in Dawson City after he lost it to frostbite.
That's a bad one to
Competing
lose,
in
too.
an extreme winter marathon in 2018.
That's the worst one to
And
lose.
he just kept it?
The ex-Royal Marine promised to donate it in hope of returning to the Yukon to do the sour toe cocktail with his very own keepsake.
Oh, I've heard of this before.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've
no,
heard of that. I've heard of this
No.
toe
I
thing
know
before.
this
No,
story,
no,
yeah.
no, no. What is this? What
The
is
cocktail's
sour
farmed
toe
ingredient is
cocktail?
Exactly
another-
what you think it is.
The cocktail's farmed ingredient is another mummified human toe.
Are these in? Can you just?
Fro-
Can you just find these? Are they like? Can you?
No, this guy was like, "Hey, I'm a drunken UK weirdo. Here's my toe. We're gonna put it in beverages in the future."
Oh, man.
But
Do
it's
you
like
have
a challenge.
Do you have a way to access the drink? Like online, we can look at it.
I'll
I
pull
don't
it
want
up
to
in a
look at
second.
it.
second.
I don't
I'll
wanna
pull it
look
up in
at
a
it.
You don't
second.
have to, but I
Okay.
want to see it.
I'll pull it up in a second for you to see. But for I want to elaborate a little more on what it
Yeah,
is.
that's
For
fine.
over four,
I
it's
don't.
exactly what it sounds like. For over 4 decades, tourists and residents have been able to order an alcoholic cocktail of their own choice, served with a
Desiccated.
desiccated human toe floating inside. Thank you for
Connor.
correcting me.
That's a. That's,
Put your toe in here for me.
what that means. There's enough
Don't
mummified
scissor toe in
toes
Chris's drink.
going
Do you have
around
the scissors?
though.
Put
What's
your
happening?
toe in there, bro.
I need some. Dan's got the scissors.
A
over
local
there.
saying goes, you can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but your lips must touch the toe.
Okay.
That's it from a Tarantino movie.
That makes it
How is this
better.
not his next movie? That's going to be in it.
The sour toe challenge.
It's traditionally
The
served
sourdough
with
salad.
Yukon Gold whiskey and must
potatoes.
touch the drinker's lips in order to earn a certificate from the bar.
You got to get a floaty, detached, mummified toe hovering
touch
on your lips.
All
in
for
order
a-
to get a certificate.
Yeah, all for a
In order to
certificate.
get a certificate and a drink
From
that's
a
worth like
fucking
$9.
And you paid for the drink
Yeah.
too. You don't even get it for free.
You get $0 and a printed off piece of
They've-
paper from the back office that says you had a corpse toe on your mouth.
They have ordered.
Not even your own corpse toe, just some
Nope.
random guys. Toe.
Where
well,
do all the toes?
they've-
I want to keep my toe.
come
I'd rather
from?
have somebody else's toe.
Yeah.
honestly,
The toes
though,
come
'cause I
from
wanna
people
keep my
like
toes.
Nick Griffiths.
There can't be that many.
There's
No.
a lot of Nick Griffiths
No,
out there.
in the
4
story though, there's only
decades?
2 though. They had a previous toe,
And they lost it. It got bad.
And they lost it.
Yeah.
They reused
It got
the
bad.
Hold on, I'm
toe?
getting.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. They had a toe for years.
I'm
and that
getting
toe
there.
went
I'm
bad.
getting there. Hold on.
This guy lost a toe and was
Yes.
like, "Hey, my favorite bar lost their creepy drinking toe.
I got a toe.
I got a toe. Here's my fucked up weird mummy toe."
I don't like that it's reused.
And
that
now-
makes it worse
And-
somehow.
But now the town is alive again.
I just.
Yeah, now the town's thriving because of it.
Now people are traveling
Do
there.
you think
and
they would allow you to remove your toe on the spot and make a drink
You
out of
just,
it?
like, put it
and
on the
then,
bar
and then
and
you could go
just
back to
let
the
it off.
hospital and get it reattached.
Yeah.
Dedicated.
And you'd still have the certificate.
Over 86,000 of these
believe it.
cocktails
Yeah.
have been served since 1973 when Yukon riverboat captain Dick Stevenson's discovered a preserved toe in an abandoned cabin.
and the
What?
first thing he thought
They
was,
don't even know the
"Let's
origin of
make-
the original toe.
Let's make a beverage out of it. That was his first thought.
Holy shit.
The downtown hotel manager, Adam Gerald, said in a statement, "We couldn't be happier to receive a new toe. They are very hard to come by these days, and this generous, this is a quote, Toe Nation
Oh no.
will help ensure the tradition
Where is
continues."
This is the
Where
worst time
is
for a
this
pun.
at?
This is
Is
like
this-
Scotland or
The
something.
Yukon.
Is
Right?
it in
Yukon?
like?
Yukon Cornelius?
What the fuck does that mean?
The stop motion character from the Rudolph movies
Is
from
it
the
like-
60s?
Yukon.
All right, old man.
I know what you're talking about. Is this like the UK's Appalachian Mountains? Like what?
It kind of sounds like
the
it, yeah.
Yukon's Canada, I thought.
No, this says UK man. Oh, well, he could
Yukon
be from the
territory.
UK,
He could
yeah.
just
Oh, the
be-
guy's
He's
from
Is
the
it
from
UK or
UK.
Yukon?
No. The man's from the UK.
The toe is from the
He
UK.
donates it to a Yukon bar. So this is in the Yukon,
Yeah,
yes.
so the Yukon's like Alaska, Canada.
I
stuff.
don't.
Sure. Yeah,
It
why
It
not?
is. No,
It
I'm
is.
just, it's factually, that's what it is.
No, I know.
I don't
don't
like
know.
anything about this.
Thank you.
Right on the
Fact
border,
checking right
actually.
there.
Yeah, no, Connor's really good at
I couldn't have
fact-checking.
been more right. It's amazing.
Right on the border. I had no fucking. Is that where those potatoes come from?
Yukon Gold potatoes, yeah.
Can't imagine potatoes grow very well up there.
Mr. Griffiths, 47, was competing in the 2018 Yukon Arctic Ultra, a multi-day wintertime marathon where participants can compete in 100, 300, and 430-mile races,
damn.
but dropped out after developing severe frostbite on his left foot
What a-
during the grueling
That
event.
sounds horrible.
What a bitch, right? Those
Yeah.
guys, right?
Is this a foot
How many
race?
miles did he make
I
it
don't.
in?
It seems
I have
like
no
it.
idea how
No, I
far he
guarantee
made
it's a
made it
sledding
in.
race.
Well, I know like the.
It's a sled
yeah.
race
Good
for
call
sure.
on that. I didn't. Think
I
about
mean, it
that.
was stored in medical grade alcohol following its amputation.
It doesn't
and,
make it any better.
quote, toe master Terry Lee will take some 6 weeks to mummify the toe on rock salt before it can be added to the drink.
What? Why is he? How many times has he done this? There's only one other toe before this. Where's he getting all of his toe mummification practice in at?
The
It
pictures aren't
seems
as
like
bad
he
as
was
you would
he was
think.
planning to
They're not
donate this
good.
toe before he lost, almost.
I don't trust
Yeah.
that.
The situation was.
Oh no,
Oh no!
Is that him?
no, that's
find a
not
picture
him.
of him?
That's just.
Oh, okay.
That's just. I'm just looking at
You're
pictures
looking at
of
the
people that
do you,
have.
do you want me to pull up the
done
picture of the
it?
mummified toe?
So you said.
Oh, these are the people who've drank the toe.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the toe.
Do they look
That-
like?
oh shit! I thought we
photo
were
of
looking at dates this entire time.
No, yeah.
I thought I was looking over your shoulder like
looks
bad
like a
fruit.
date.
That's a human toe.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
the
don't.
nail.
Oh,
What did you
no.
look up to find it?
Oh no!
I just typed in, I think, sourdough cocktail, and it was the top link
That's disgusting.
on
I don't like anything about
Here, I'll pull it up on
atlasobscura.com.
the screen. Oh, there it is!
No. Go to the first link on the.
Dude, look at that, though! It looks like a fucking... Look, pull it up on screen. That looks like a goddamn caramelized toe
Yo, go back to Google.
in fucking alcohol. That is disgusting. That's one
I
of the
don't
most
like-
disgusting
Dan,
fucking things
I
I've
don't
ever
like
said.
the
What's the next
toenail.
one?
You go to
I don't
all,
like the
search by
toenail
all.
on
Calling
it.
it a caramelized toe actually
And click
dresses
the
it up
first
a little
link,
bit
yeah.
from what it is.
The
There's more pictures
toenail.
there.
Dude, this is... I didn't actually look up pictures.
Yeah,
of-
that's
Just scroll through those.
It
Yeah,
looks like
just
a
scroll through
cockroach.
those.
Pull it up on the screen. This looks like a cockroach.
Wait until you get to the two more pictures. The next one. Oh yeah.
That guy's got his mouth.
That guy's got it in his mouth.
And he's proud of it. Unfortunately.
That's worse than like a picture on your Facebook page of just like your
Oh.
sleeping friend's dick in your mouth. for some
Yeah,
reason.
right.
Like that's the only thing worse than that.
Oh, there's somebody
This is
drinking
terrible.
it. It's touching her lips.
You said
Oh.
they've served 86,000 of these things since the 70s.
86,000 of these since
So there are
1974.
86
Yeah.
sad people,
I feel
86,000
like-
sad people out there that
Can
have
you
amputated
imagine what the
ancient
texture
toes.
of that would feel like?
Imagine the toenail. I don't like fingernail, toenail injuries, stuff like that.
I don't like that there's a toenail on it. That really
It is
grosses
gross.
me out more
In
than
all reality,
anything.
though, hitting your face, it probably just feels like a piece of tree bark floating.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
your
like but you got to know what it is, though. That's the thing.
Dan, that
I didn't think I could get more grossed out from the meatballs.
scroll down on
to
that
this,
article.
But I'm,
Oh,
I
the
don't know
meatball one's
anything about the
more
meatballs.
disgusting than this.
I don't know. I
What
don't
do you-
know.
The first.
This one has pictures.
the second.
Here's what I think, though, right, comrades, is
Yeah.
that the first 90,000 people who get enrolled in the re-education camps are the people who paid for this drink.
Yep.
Like, if you went to the literal Yukon to have a toe touch your lips and a $9 beverage, like maybe, right?
What happened to their last toe?
Somebody swallowed it. No, I'm kidding.
Or stolen. It says they're stolen frequently too.
So I didn't realize what happened. I thought it was in the article I had.
Read that first sentence.
They asked people to donate.
The first toe is said to have
amputated
belonged to a
toes.
miner and a rum runner
Yeah, that wasn't in here.
named Louis Lickin. who had his frostbitten appendage amputated in the 1920s.
It's always frostbitten.
There ain't even a real story about the
But
first
listen
toe.
to this sentence. Lichen preserved it in a jar of alcohol in his cabin for memories.
For memories.
I remember that toe.
So that's
My keepsake
So that
toe.
guy had his toe amputated in the 1920s and decided to preserve it, right?
And then somebody
Fast
found
forward
it.
to that guy finding this abandoned cabin
was like,
and
you
a
know what
toe
we should do
preserved.
with
And the
this?
first thing he thought,
It's that guy's toe.
yeah. But the first thing he
Dude.
thought was, let's make
put it in a
an
drink.
alcoholic
That
beverage
is
out of it.
so
But it has to touch
disgusting.
your lips.
Yep.
And then we'll
Or
give
else
you
you
a
don't get
certificate.
this piece of paper.
Oh my god.
It's like a diploma.
So
from
I don't
the
have a lot of
UConn.
information on the first toe, but what I do have is just that the hotel has made many public appearances before asking people to donate amputated toes. But Mr. Griffiths, the hotel's owner, I believe, said the gift is the first one that is usable. The toe has been swallowed in the past.
Why did you have to
I was just
prove
joking
that?
about that. That for real happened?
It's happened. I mean, there's 83,000 of these that have been sold. No
Look.
doubt that it's been.
No,
Is it the
who's
same
doing
toe
it that way?
every
Who's
time?
slamming it?
They're fucking slamming it hard.
Do they reuse the
Who's
same
doing
toe
that?
up until somebody steals it or swallows it?
Uh,
And what happens when you swallow it? Do
I don't
they
know.
Just shit out an
I have no
amputated.
idea.
Toe.
Dude,
Listen.
just ugh.
I'm sure if there's a God, when you shit, like you know what happened, but you don't see the toe. You know, right? Right, guys? If you swallow the toe.
I don't know.
I don't want
man.
to see it after that.
I don't want to see
I
the
don't like
fucking
thinking
toe.
about swallowing the toe.
I don't
guess-
want to either,
With
but
the toenail.
we're confronted with this reality.
You have to feeling the toenail go down your throat.
But if you swallow this toe,
Wait.
you're so drunk. You're so drunk at that point that it's probably
It's like one
eating,
shot, you
it's like
probably
eating
aren't.
clams.
Wait, the guy that had it in his mouth in the green shirt, you know, do you think he had it toenail side first or the cut side?
Moving on to the next story. Meet the teacher fired for X-rated school videos.
Okay.
This happened on June 27th. A 24-year-old substitute teacher was fired for recording X-rated solo videos in a Texas high school. Describes herself as, quote, a bit of an exhibitionist.
A bit.
and I want people to watch
Just a little bit.
watch me please myself or be pleased.
Let's back up and change people to children.
Yeah.
According to
and
a-
a bit.
And this is
Just get
according
rid of
to her profile on a porn website. I'll just clarify right now. This is the website Pornhub.
Wow. Okay.
that. All right.
A little mom and pop
I've never
organization.
heard of
You may
it.
or may not. Yeah, you may or may
I
not
got
have
this
heard
from
of
the smokinggun.com. And they completely just gave away her Pornhub account. So she's not hard to find. I'll give her name
them.
right
She ain't
here.
got the teaching revenue anymore. She's like, give me that Pornhub.
I guess I know what
Elizabeth-
I'm doing on the during the
Elizabeth
break.
Ann Schneider was dismissed this week from her post at El Campo High School after administrations received a tip about a Pornhub page featuring a dozen explicit videos of Schneider engaged in sexual activity. Schneider worked for 3 months at the
No,
school
man.
where she was
She got
subbed in
comfortable real
English
fast.
classes. Several of Schneider's self-shot videos were recorded last month in either a classroom or a teacher workroom at the school in El Campo, a city about 70 miles west of Houston.
Should we pull some up on my phone?
Refrain from judgment.
we,
One video,
I'm not
We
judging.
have all of her info to look
me
it
get
up.
my phone.
one video, I don't know what a 627 production means, but a 627 production titled Naughty Substitute Teacher Uses Dildo Chair in
They
Classroom
actually called it a production.
Yeah.
features Snyder pleasuring herself
Wait,
in a classroom with the aid of sex toys.
Does
think
she have
it's
an
6
LLC that's called 627 Productions?
It's either that or it's 6 minutes and 27 second
And
production.
they
She's
just
very
copy and
legit.
pasted.
Yep.
This
I
clip
think you're
included categories and tags such as MILF, substitute teacher, solo, female in school. Until yesterday, Schneider's videos were publicly available on her Pornhub page, which carried the account. Okay, we're not going to read the account.
Does she have kids? Because she can't be a MILF if she
Let me
doesn't have
continue the
kids.
story.
Yeah.
The video
Asking
has
the
since been
important
disabled,
questions.
apparently, as a part of Schneider's broader attempt to scrub her online footprint. While usually framed to keep Schneider's identity shrouded, one of the school clips includes a brief shot of the substitute's face, as seen below, which I do have her picture. I don't know if I should
As
show
seen
it.
below, what's the? They don't.
She's
see it. We're looking
24.
at
I
it.
can't see it.
No, don't show it. I don't. Think
I'm not
going to
show it. I don't think I should show
She's
it.
24.
But show us the picture
Ooh.
that you're talking about.
You can see this picture.
She's
I don't have any other photos.
Oh.
Does
And
not
the one
look
there's-
24.
No, yeah, that's
in
what
her
I was
brief bio,
That's
she
rough.
notes that she's a mom of a rambunctious toddler and a substitute teacher, and she's a bit of an exhibitionist.
A bit again.
This sounds like
And I
a
want
copy
to
and
watch people
pasted
please
Tinder
myself,
profile.
please, or be pleased. In one of her school videos, students can be heard in the background but are not
okay.
seen.
That's
That's the
not-
line crossing. I
Yeah.
think we
Yep,
were all
Okay,
waiting
look,
for.
that's
look.
the part I was trying to get to
Not
here.
saying I approve of it, but if you're gonna do this, at least do it after hours when the kids have left.
Yeah, when actual children
Yeah,
are gone
yeah.
and aren't going to walk in on you
100%.
like,
And listen, guys, let's all be real. Who hasn't stayed after school 2 to 3 hours as a
Absolutely.
middle-aged woman to flick their bean?
Absolutely.
with a dildo chair.
Honestly,
with the dildo chair.
Can we be
right?
real?
But not with the kids.
Can
in
we
earshot.
take a little quick minute to be real for just a quick second?
Yes.
You get one. real
Men in the
minute.
room, and maybe even women. I masturbate in a lot of places. A lot of places. A lot of places.
Go on.
A bit of.
You know where
places.
one of those places never was?
School.
School.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
masturbated in school. Never once. Chris?
No, I've never jerked
Nope.
off in school. If that's what you're asking.
You're the only one that didn't say
What about
no
if
right
you
away.
live on campus?
No. Well,
College is different.
College is entirely
And if
and
different.
if you're in boarding school, then like
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
here's
you probably fucking turn those walls into a Jackson Pollock
Exactly.
painting.
Yeah,
let's
you're
lay down
exactly
some
right.
rules, right? Unless there's a creepy reason, you can jerk off places you're not alone, or where you are alone. I'm sorry, that was a backwards thing.
Yep.
Like if
You're alone in
if
school.
you live in a dorm, you can jerk off there
Oh, absolutely.
because you live there.
yeah.
You know?
What about like
If
you
you're
li-
in a classroom,
Hold on, Chris.
No,
wait.
you don't
You
live in a
don't
classroom.
Hold on,
masturbate.
Chris.
If
Wait,
you
what
do
about?
live in the classroom, though?
Oh no, hold on. What about this? What about this?
This was all. This
Hold on.
is-
What about this?
Okay.
Dorm room shared showers.
Are you masturbating in the shower?
Yeah.
No.
No, and
You lived in a dorm. Did you have
Yeah.
shared showers?
Yes, yeah. For
Did
my
you ever
freshman-
jerk off in them?
Freshman, no.
Never
No.
once.
I would
not
not-
in the showers.
You just don't want to say it in the.
no. I would
Can I
say
share-
it.
can
I
I-
don't give a fuck.
Can I share a quick funny story?
But you can't because it clogs up all the. That's they legit have had signs up.
they're
before.
like, "Don't jerk off in here."
Yeah.
Your loads are gonna ruin our plumbing.
Yeah, no, I'm being serious.
holy shit.
I lived in dorms at the
Dorms
state
sound
university
terrible.
I attended. Right?
Uh-huh.
You can say
and,
it.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I lived there. I didn't have a roommate, so I could jerk off
As much as
in
you
my
wanted,
room
whenever
when I
you
wanted to.
wanted.
But we had a separate problem in the showers from jerking off. Is somebody kept shitting in the showers every day. Somebody would go in
What?
there every morning and shit in the showers in the
Why?
shower because they thought it was hilarious. And there were like
That's a good point.
There were like 100-person meetings where
It's-
we'd be in
it's
an
hilarious,
amphitheater
though.
where like everybody who lived in the dorm and there
Yep.
would be the dorm head would be like, guys, I know who is shitting in the shower, whoever the shitter is, they called him the shitter.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we know whoever the shitter is thinks it's hilarious that we're having 100-person deep meetings about how shitting in the shower is wrong as adults. But it never stopped. The entire semester that I lived in the dorms, somebody shit in the shower every day.
I feel
And
like-
sometimes I got to shower and sometimes I didn't, depending on how recently my shower coincided with the shitter.
That's like an American Vandal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
For real.
Yeah.
And
I
that-
feel like
that's what
dorm
it was like for
living
me.
is a level of hell.
Yeah.
It's one not discussed in Dante's Inferno, but it's a level of
It
hell.
was like living in a mental
don't ever.
institution where you paid $5,000
That sounds
for every 6
fucking
months you were there.
terrible.
Quick side note: there was a dorm in my freshman year across the hall from mine, and they were the only one that had their own bathroom inside of it. And it was just one guy, and he had one of his friends over one day who did YouTube reviews of elevators. And apparently the dorm
If
that I
you're
lived
at
in
9th and
had an
11th, take this
awesome
elevator.
elevator, and he was
shit.
filming. Like, he was there filming for multiple hours. An interview just riding the elevator up and down, going in and talking about all the buttons and everything.
Ooh, that
And
shit's
it's just
smooth.
So
Yeah.
weird.
elevator enthusiasts, man.
Interesting. Niche market, but I mean, go for it.
You got one guy who's like your angel donor, though, that gives you like a grand a month to like hit the 13th floor.
It's
every time
somebody's
they-
fetish. Everything is
and to
somebody's
send him
fetish.
Dudes, don't forget about that.
Put your dick on the buttons.
Yep.
Yes.
Just to kind of wrap up the story about this teacher, in a post several days ago, this woman, this on Pornhub, this post, she said that she was facing some. She was talking about the trouble she was facing, and she said someone recognized the classroom in one of my videos. They told the principal, and he asked me to take them down. I might lose my job over this. I won't know till next semester.
I feel like she should get like in trouble
She
with
should
the
like
law
with
for this.
with
What she
its
did-
kids are in the classroom.
children.
Are you? This might be not a good question,
Oh, no.
right?
Ask it. Who cares?
I don't know. I'm not saying
the
you
internet.
should,
It's the
but are you
internet.
allowed to beat off with a kid in the room?
No.
No, God,
Absolutely
no.
not. Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Holy shit, you know my child.
No.
You asking
No,
this
no,
question
no, no,
is
no.
terrifying.
Chris, no. Let me make it clear. I would never beat off with the person in the room. A person, unless it was like my significant other, I would never beat off with another human in the room. But I was wondering if one like genuine question is it illegal to jerk off with a
Yes.
child in the room?
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
So is it illegal?
And I
Wait,
feel
hold
like-
on. Is it illegal if you catch your parents fucking?
No, that's different.
Why is that different?
They're
It's a
not
little
in the
thing
room.
called judicial discretion.
I think it's also because they're in their own house. Like they're in privacy.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, if
what
you
if
caught
you're
your
like,
parents
but what if
fucking
you're
in a
like,
classroom-
never mind. I don't want to give a what if, but so
on, drop it
is.
on us.
I just want to make sure.
Dan, I don't even understand the connection
So,
between
I
that
guess-
question and somebody flicking their bean for the internet in a room where they work.
Well, no. The question is, is it inherently a crime to flick your bean if that place where you work is full of children? That's my question. I think it should
I
be.
think
Yeah.
I think.
removing
Hold
the
on.
children-
Hold
No,
on.
hold on.
Children.
No, you hold on. I think it should be.
No, you hold on.
No, you
sir.
hold on.
This whole damn courtroom, hold on.
No, listen. It should 100% be illegal to do. I'm just asking if it is.
Here, I almost feel like, Dan, the question you're actually trying to ask, because it would make sense
What?
if this is the question you were trying to ask, was can you jerk off in a room where kids are publicly when they're not there? Right?
Yes.
Because there's
I
no
think
Like, in
kids.
this
remove
case-
the kids from the
No,
equation.
no.
Yes.
Actually, my
She's
question
fine.
is like.
Okay, well, I can't help you anymore.
Well,
I
no,
just did my best
I'm
to help
saying
you get this into
Remove
No,
the
no,
kids
no.
from the equation. It's a public place. You can't.
You can't jerk off in a
can't
public
jerk
place. You
off
shouldn't
in
be
a
able
But
to.
is it
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
So
But
if-
is it an extra crime to do it with children
Probably.
present?
Probably.
I think it should be. I'm asking if it is.
If
yes,
it's not,
yes, it
it
is.
should
But
be.
the issue with her is that there aren't actually children present.
Except
Right?
for
There
that
are.
one.
There's
outside of the
yeah. No.
classroom
There's
she
you.
did.
There's no children that you can see, but you can hear children
that's-
while she's
hold on.
flicking her fucking bean. There might be children there.
I get you, right? But is there proof of children being there, right? There's a difference, and I don't know.
Either way.
I'm
At
not a
least
lawyer.
within earshot.
I'm saying these should all be
All right. I
crimes.
sounded
Yes.
bad a second ago. Now listen to what Chris is about to fucking
I
say.
feel like either way, she needs to be investigated.
Yes,
at
yeah,
the
no, totally.
very
But what I'm
least.
saying
Oh
is
yeah, we need to
there's-
investigate her.
There's
Am I
degrees.
right?
There's degrees of crime. There's degrees of crime, right? So it's like if you're a teacher and you're in the janitor's closet flicking your bean, making a video for YouPorn. That's not cool, probably.
Yeah, it's
right?
not cool.
Yeah.
So
Well,
since that's not cool, that's a different degree of not cool
For your
than,
viewers.
than doing
Masturbating
that on the
with children.
seesaw in front of the fifth graders.
Definitely.
That's what I'm getting
Definitely,
at.
I
So
can't-
it's like, so what I'm saying is, for me, when you look at it, it's like, where does what she did, which
Fall
is
in
fucked
the
up,
degrees of fucked
fall
up.
into those degrees of
Right.
fucked
Yeah.
up?
No,
like,
I agree.
We're not
On a
arguing
scale
like,
of 1 to 10, kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, so if
it's definitely not a 1.
No, but if
We
you're-
know that.
Yeah, it's
It
not
might
on
not
a 1
be
to
a-
10. It's like a 5 to 10.
But if you're like a
she's at
judge-
least on the 5 scale.
Yeah.
yeah, but if you're like a judge or a superintendent, it's like, where do you rate this? It's,
Yeah, fire her definitely 100%.
Yeah, but is it- it's
and
like-
replace all the chairs.
Especially once the kids find out.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like,
There's
are
nothing
you
can
are you
do.
fired and there's criminal charges, or is it enough to fire you if kids didn't see it or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't. The only reason I'm going this deep is because it's like I don't think we should lose. The shades of gray.
Yeah.
There are shades
You know
of
what I mean?
gray.
50
Because
of 'em.
even in oh yes, and this is like a 31 probably out of those 50 shades. This ain't a 5.
Also, she's not 24. Paige and I want to make that clear.
Yeah,
Oh,
she does not.
I mean, honestly,
look
honestly,
24.
I don't know if I ever said this on the podcast, but Paige is my SO. She's
Really?
my significant other.
What?
Shit, that's new.
Yeah. But I do want to say real quick,
That was the most non-revelation.
she looks
Ever.
she
Like-
looks cute in this picture, this girl here. But I have some additional pictures, and she's not cute.
Well,
She's
looks-
not an attractive woman.
She looks older than 24.
My first
She looks like
instinct-
32,
my
right?
first
Yeah.
instinct of that picture is she's not bad looking, but she also does not look 24.
Listen,
No,
guys,
she's not.
bad
She's pretty
looking
cute.
for
I think she's pretty
24.
cute.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you something, guys. As a
Honestly,
person,
I just want to say real
In
quick,
that
I think
picture.
she looks a tiny bit, which Paige knows it's like a little bit of my celebrity crush. She looks a tiny bit
like
like
Phyllis from The Office.
Yep.
Brie Larson. who I think is very attractive.
Listen,
That's the.
I'm
only
not going to
reason why
remotely
she's your
humor
crush.
you. This picture does not look anything like Brie Larson at all.
Let's pull it. Let's show
I
this.
think she
Show
looks
it
like
to
a
me.
rough
Should I not show her?
24 is
Should I
all
show
I'm
her?
saying.
Did we
Well,
just-
here's what I was going to say. As
We
a
saw
person,
Paige just showed her.
The,
There she
the
is.
internet
She's a
showed
rough
her.
She looks a little bit
The
like
internet, yeah.
Extension
Brie
of the
Larson,
internet.
right?
no, not at all.
Let's pull a picture of Brie
I'm not,
Larson.
and you said she's 24. She's not 24. As a person like actively internet dating, 90% of people somehow are 24, regardless of how
This looks
wrinkly
like fucking Brie
or
Larson. Look.
crow-footed or not 24 they are.
See if
This
you
looks
can
like Brie
find like
Larson.
a see if you can find like a picture of Brie Larson looking to the side or something.
Should I fucking Google
With
Brie
glasses
Larson
on
looking to the
and
side
red
with the glasses?
lipstick.
You know, instead of doing that, let's just move on from one school story to another. How
That's
about
the
that?
best thing
Right.
to do is move on.
Man strips naked, smears self with oil in bizarre Pennsylvania school burglary.
Oh my God! Look at this guy's face.
I wasn't expecting the last
Wait.
few feet of oh my God, he
Bizarre?
looks like us. Never mind.
What does he look
Or-
like? Say it.
We'll talk about it after.
Genius.
This is a personal
I feel
connection.
like
He looks
he's-
like somebody that
This was in
I feel like he's onto something.
the well-known
This guy?
town from
yeah.
the
Let's hear his
well-known.
plan.
well, when you get all greased up,
Oh,
like the
shit.
beams from the security system just reflect off of you.
Yeah.
You're like a mirror. you
Maybe
know?
this is really clever.
Or maybe this is just what happens every day.
You're
on,
right, Paige. Let's hear him out.
Maybe this is just what's every day. What happens every day in Scranton, Pennsylvania,
Oh, shit.
home of The Office.
do. I just realized
That
I
is
can't
not
do
the
the office
fucking
song.
Office.
That's not the
sound.
Office.
Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do,
Alvin, Simon, Theodore. No.
What the fuck was that? A Pennsylvania man is accused of breaking into an elementary school Wednesday night, stripping himself naked and smearing oil on his body, which he then used to slide across the gym floor.
Why? Why?
Let's make
Why?
things clear.
What,
He
why
did
is
it-
on the
is he-
gym floor
He
that
did
he
it.
needs?
He did it when
Why couldn't
children
he
were
just
not
walk?
around, though.
That's true.
We'll give him that.
He did. He broke
Okay.
an after
But
school.
also, why couldn't he just walk across the gym floor?
No, I think
Well,
because this
gym
man is
floors are
mentally
slick.
ill, and in his mind, this is like the movie Entrapment with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones, and there are lasers to evade that he had to like grease up and penguin
Do you
slide
think he
across
did it?
the entire
yeah,
gym
do you think
floor.
he did it like on his stomach, like a seal, like
100%,
slapping his way
yes.
along, or do
He,
you think
he
like,
swam across that hardwood maple floor?
That's
like,
why he did it in
greased
the
up.
gym, though, because the floors are slick.
Yeah.
True, it's a good. But
You know, I just side note.
He tried the library, but there
we
was
set up
carpeting.
a slip and slide from our apartment when I went to college
I was just say you don't live in an apartment.
through the hallway into our neighbor's apartment, and got it all greased up and went sliding. And my friend just fucked his shoulder.
Yeah, I bet.
Sliding right into
Connor.
a wall.
I fucking bet.
Connor,
Don't do that.
When you say greased up, what was the grease?
You want to take a guess?
I'm going to
Crisco.
say Vaseline because it's the cheapest. I just know from
I'm gonna
No,
say
pretty
straight up
sure it
fucking
was just
bottles of
soap and
lube.
water.
Oh
Nothing
shit!
exciting.
Yeah,
Dawn
what
is the
kind of
cheapest grease.
Yeah,
You're right.
there you go.
Ah,
What kind of
I
grease did
overthought
this
it.
guy use?
Hopefully,
it
vegetable
whale
oil.
blubber.
It doesn't say. I have. So that's the thing is, I have no fucking idea after reading this article.
probably
where
just
the
vegetable
hell he
oil.
got the
Oh,
oil
like
though. Did he bring it with him?
Grocery store.
It doesn't specify that he walked in with oil poured it on
Do you
himself.
think he walked in greased up
No, I think.
and naked?
He got into the gym and there was the shit from the or the cafeteria.
Yeah,
there was the
yeah.
stuff from the
Ooh,
fryers.
there
And he
you
like
go.
doused it all over himself. The like vegetable oil
But
for
still,
the
you got to
fryers.
be careful because that could still be maybe a little bit warm if you went out on a school day.
Listen, my ex-wife is a lunch lady. I think we should call her up as and consult on this.
Consultant?
Expert-
What is the
expert
nature of the
opinion.
grease that you find on site at an elementary school?
This man's name was Nathan James Linder, 21 of Scranton. He's charged with burglary. I can never fucking say that
Burglary.
word.
What did he burgle?
Burglary.
The school.
But what did he burgle
but
from
yeah,
the
like
school?
what did he burgle from?
What kind
the
of
school?
resources
There's
does the
nothing to steal
school
from a
have?
school.
That's the thing, is
They
he
have
got-
no cash.
he
They
got
have chairs
criminal-
too
The
small for people
school's
to sit in.
dignity.
He got criminal trespass, which I understand. Theft, but that's what I don't understand.
What did he
Receiving
steal?
receiving stolen property and criminal mischief, according to the Citizens Voice and Wilkins Bar. Linder was booked Friday into Lackawanna County Prison
Oh
in
my-
lieu of a
You know what they
$5,000
did?
bond.
You know what he did? He took all those giant red pencils adults don't know how to use. Like you could only use them as a child. That somehow it's like the
my
size
God.
of a fucking Sharpie for some reason.
Okay, so does the article tell us why he was charged with theft or burglary?
Or why he greased himself up and
I'm
slid
telling
across
you,
the
That,
floor?
I
that
feel-
makes
I feel
sense.
like-
that
no,
makes sense. To
I feel
me.
like
You
the-
don't have any questions about that part?
no.
No, I feel like
That
the
makes
theft
sense.
was the grease that he used.
No way.
You know,
Like that
I feel
Simpsons episode where they
I honestly
break in
think you're
and
right,
steal
Chris.
the
I haven't
grease?
read ahead in this article, and I kind of just scrolled through it before I added it to the podcast. But I think you're right. I think the theft might be the
No.
grease. I think he stole grease.
There's no way this guy was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring grease
Honestly,
to evade the lasers.
I'm
Like,
gonna-
he
no, no,
got
no, no,
there
no.
and he's crazy out of his mind.
No. Let me
You know,
break it
and
down
he's
for you.
like, I'm
Seriously.
Catherine Jesus
Seriously,
Jones.
no. Catherine Zeta-Jones. Let me break it down for you.
That's
though.
what I
Zeta.
said.
Let me break it down for you.
Jones, like
Let me break it down for you.
televisions
Though.
from the 80s.
This is what I genuinely think happened.
Yes.
I think that this man broke into. I have not read the rest of this article.
Good,
but I do want to say
He broke into the industry with his dancing powers.
No, Chris. I think he broke into this school with the sole intention of greasing himself up and sliding across the gym floor.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason he.
Like just for fun.
Dan just committed the most cardinal sin of all. He bumped his mic. You're going to hell now.
I think that's the only reason that he broke into the school was to slide himself across the gym floor. I think that's the only reason he was there in the first place.
That
he
makes
also
sense to
was there
me.
to drink a carton of milk.
I don't have.
Just one carton. That's all you need.
The burglar
It's like
was also
160
seen
calories.
drinking
Wait.
a carton of milk,
That's-
apparently took from the cafeteria.
You're not
That's it.
supposed to read this shit. So wait a second though. Once
makes
inside the school,
more
the male took off all of his clothes and was walking through at least a portion of the school without any clothes on. Scranton Police Chief Carl Granzano
Graziano, you're out of here.
Graziano told the news station the burglar was also seen drinking a carton of milk he apparently took from the cafeteria. So that's probably what he's charged for burglarizing. The
Also-
break-in happened sometime after maintenance workers finished their shift around 10:30 Wednesday.
Oh my God, Dan. Read the last sentence.
And I know. I'm gonna get. I was gonna get there. The investigators called Linders, and again, this is Nathan James
above
Linder,
that.
who's 21. They called Linder's mother, who brought him to the police department. They called his mom, and his
She
mom.
said, he smelled like French fries. Take him.
Oh my God.
Most importantly,
Students
though,
returned to class Friday. Administrators also shared the footage, which was released to the local media, the Voice reported. Shortly after the images was released, the
Can we
school
watch it?
resource officers recognized Linder from his time at Scranton High.
Can we go back to this? Is completely has nothing to do, but The Voice reported that. Who's The Voice? Is
I have
this
no
like
idea. Don't listen to my sources.
being?
I got this off the internet.
No, it says The Voice.
The Voice, I think, is
The Almighty Voice.
I think it's a news organization. This
The
comes
Lord
from
said.
this comes from Springfield News Sun.
I feel like we're missing the most important takeaway, which there is video
Yeah.
of this happening.
Find
I
it.
cannot show that on Twitch.
Okay,
Well, we
can
gotta
you
watch
not?
it.
I don't think I can
After
show it
this.
on YouTube.
Can you
I can
not?
show you guys after. And the people on the podcast can't see it anyway, so.
People
I
on the
need to
podcast
see
find it.
Which way did he slide
People on the
across
podcast
the
can find
floor?
it. James,
That's what I need
Nathan
to know.
I'm
James
sorry,
Linder.
but-
There's footage
Like
out
an
there.
inchworm.
I gotta
I
find
don't
out.
have the
Like
footage.
that.
I don't have the footage, Connor.
He ran
and
and
you
he
can't
slipped
show
and
it to
slided
everybody
it.
right now.
Well, I can't show it to anybody from here anyway. So
I need to see this so badly.
I don't have the
I
footage.
need to know
Well, maybe
how
it's in
he
here.
slid
I don't
across
think
the
it's in this
floor.
article. Maybe I can show you guys. I don't think it's in here though. Here, I mean, here's some photos of it.
Yeah. No,
You
I
can
need to
see.
see him slide across the floor.
I don't have the footage.
Oh, God damn it.
That's what he looks like. Go back.
Yeah, I showed you what he
Oh,
looks
man.
like. Here's a close up of him.
Sad.
Let's show that on the stream.
He's like,
He looks
You know-
sad.
this is like the type of way like a friend of mine from high school would get arrested. Like I'm friends with a certain pair of twins you guys are aware of. Like this is how one of them would wind up like cleaning up the side of a highway for 6 months.
Yeah. that makes sense.
I'm looking at like a little. There's no I can't.
There's no footage.
actual
It's hard to find the
but
footage, yeah.
This
it
guy
does-
looks like a mix of Andy Milonakis and what's the ugly Mexican dude from Waiting?
Look.
Nobody
You
knows what you're talking about.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Yeah, Guzman.
Guzman?
Luis
Yeah.
Guzman.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to be controversial. There's no way anybody says that guy's not ugly. He's not an attractive man.
to you, does it look like he's naked and just has like a hoodie on and maybe some pants? He was fully prepared to
He's-
strip down.
He is dressed,
Came in
but there's no
prepared.
undershirt under the
Exactly.
hoodie.
So that's why
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's just.
He's wearing
completely naked
PJs
under
and
that. Okay.
I guess we'll move
Got
on.
it out of my system.
You got it out of your system. Moving on from
Kinda.
schools.
is that me? Did I just make that noise?
Moving on from schools to street rules. South Carolina woman arrested for cruising down the road in a child's toy truck while impaired.
What's wrong with that?
South
What
Carolina.
kind of toy truck? Hold on.
Yeah.
South Carolina police charged a woman with public intoxication after finding her cruising down the road in a child's motorized toy truck. According to reports, this is a big wheel, essentially.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Is
This is a big wheel.
or is this like an 18-inch?
This is essentially a fucking
like
big wheel.
fire
Is the
truck.
big wheel the little like motorized like Barbie Jeep thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I always
Exactly.
wanted one
The
of those.
arrest,
So did I.
hold on. Side note.
Yeah, you got one because you're an only child. Move
Yep.
on. Let's
Yep.
move on.
I got a, no, hold on. No, it's not move on. Not only did I have one big wheel,
Dan's gonna
motherfucker.
rub in his-
Motherfucker. I had two.
Dan had a car lot full of big wheels.
Connor's also an
He's
only.
like, I had a
thing.
baby camper. It was
Connor
more
and
than
I are
10
only.
wheels, but we
Connor
had
and
it.
I are
Yep.
onlys. Connor understands exactly where I'm coming from. Connor,
Yep.
did you have a big wheel?
Nope. But I did have an electric razor scooter.
Oh shit.
That's pretty dope.
I still have it at home if you want to ride it.
Hey guys,
had-
guess what?
It's
In the
not made
revolution,
for
I'm going to
humans
eat you
our size,
first.
though.
I had my big brother's bike spray painted pink.
Listen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had my grandmother bought me a fucking Batmobile,
Oh, okay,
What the
that's
fuck?
cool.
a Batmobile.
That's cool.
Goddamn Power Wheel. And then later on, when that one broke, because they all break because they're pieces of shit.
Yep.
When that one broke, she bought me a Jeep.
Guess what I had instead?
A real
Power
Jeep.
wheel.
Oh,
You know what I had?
There it is.
I had a grandma who was born at the turn of the century who let me paint pine cones with watercolors.
Nobody's
That's what
nobody's
I
ever-
got instead of fucking Power Wheels. You privileged fuck.
Listen, nobody's ever bought me fucking a real car.
I don't know if that's true. Let's move on.
It's half true.
Let's
Anyway,
see.
Can I move
move
on
on.
to something that?
Yes.
By my going to work, there's a police speed trap, and they park right around this corner.
How many times do you have to blow them to get to work on time? Like
A
4
couple
or
times
5 times a day?
No,
Okay.
a week. Just a week.
Yeah.
But so you come around, the speed limit changes from 40 to 30 within like 50 feet, and I was waiting for the cop one day, and I came around the corner, and there was one of the big wheels.
Yeah.
But it was a police car one, and it was parked where the cops usually parked.
the arrest of Megan Holman.
That's some guy's idea of like a hilarious.
It was
this
though.
match,
It
yeah.
was though.
It's cute.
The arrest of Megan Holman, 25, on charge of operating a silver Power Wheels truck under the influence of narcotic happened Monday in
Should not be a
Walhalla,
crime.
South
I
Carolina,
agree.
not far from her home. Hold on. Police say she avoided a DUI charge because her mode of transport was not a toy, was a toy, not a vehicle. BuzzFeed News report.
I do think that's fair
agree.
that the
No,
cops,
100%.
Well, no, I think it's fair that she didn't get a charge, but I also think it's fair that the cops were like, "Hey, you can't just
Pull her
drive
over.
this kid's toy down the middle."
Yeah.
of
Also, it
the
says she's
road."
under influence of a narcotic.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
drugs.
let me
Not
elaborate
drugs.
there.
Meth?
Walhalla police weren't sure where Holman was headed when they discovered her with the truck. Fox Carolina reported.
Does it
We can't
matter
refer
where
to it as
she's
a
going?
truck. Let's stop
Hold
referring to it
on.
as a truck.
Hold
It's
on.
like a quarter of a golf
I'm
cart.
getting to one of the most important parts of the story. The incident reports that Holman told officers she was riding the toy truck as part of a scavenger hunt, and that she, quote, wanted to be a professional wrestler like her father, and this was how to do it.
I've been doing it wrong this whole time, guys.
Listen,
I didn't know that was the
I
way
don't
to
see any-
professional
You've been
wrestling.
doing it wrong because you're
You
not
didn't know
on
that?
any kind of speed or meth. First
Yeah,
off, you
yeah,
want to be a
true.
pro wrestler?
That's true.
I'm not saying you got to do meth, right? But like, Adderall,
But you have to do math.
find
Find your speed.
Yeah, find an adult friend with ADD. Buy their Adderall.
and then
Right.
drive your big wheel down the middle
Drive
of the
your big
road
wheel.
Yep.
in a scavenger hunt.
And you're going to be the next fucking Hulk Hogan.
Yes, in a pursuit of methamphetamine.
So information on her father was unavailable. And she was released on her own reconnaissance after her arrest. I don't know why she was actually arrested. I guess for being under the influence.
Public intoxication.
Let's pull up a picture of her real quick.
Here's
on
what I was
the-
gonna say. There's certain times, right, where we need to say, hey, police, like we get it. You're not great guys sometimes, right? But maybe in rural America on a 2-lane highway and people are trying to come home from work, when there's a lady in a plastic F-150, like tweaked out on meth, like she may not be committing a crime, but
Yep.
everybody's tired and just wants to go home.
Yeah, everybody's
so
done
like,
with it.
You don't have a reason to arrest her, but maybe like you get her off the road for 4 or 5 hours.
She's pretty. It looks
Just
like
take her
she's
home.
real early
If
in
she,
her
Honestly,
if she would
life.
cut out,
Let's-
if she would cut out the narcotics, she'd look pretty good.
It looks
Let's throw up
early
on here.
enough.
Listen,
Honestly, I
she's-
said this before.
She does, yeah.
This woman looks a lot like I have an aunt.
This is the okay.
Yeah.
This woman looks
She
a lot like
does.
my aunt. She looks like a much younger version of my aunt, and I'm honestly open to admit my aunt has some problems, to say the least.
Yeah.
Paige laughs.
This is,
I'm
no,
sorry.
Hey, this is Missouri, man. You got a 70%
Yeah.
chance of having an aunt with a problem.
Yeah, she's got a problem, we'll say the least. But she looks a lot like my aunt, but about 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh shit! Never mind. This is funny. The aunt you're talking about when I was like your
You know
age-
my aunt.
No, your mom tried to hook me up with that aunt when I was your age.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, she's like
your
10
age.
years older than you. No, she's older. No, is she the one that's my age?
She's about your age.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was Oh, but what I was going to...
I just want to say I said reconnaissance. It's recognizance.
Yes. But what I was going to say is like, this lady looks like her Facebook page has an update that says, if you can't handle me at my tiny...
If you can't handle me at my big wheels, you can't handle me at my tiny wheels.
You don't deserve me at my best. If you can handle me at my driving a yard sale plastic truck down the interstate.
In a scavenger hunt to become a professional wrestler.
I'm looking for a geode cache,
That's how it
motherfuckers.
works.
Get out of my way.
Anyway, moving on from South Carolina over to Northern Ireland.
Oh yeah.
Northern Irish woman who married
happens.
Northern Irish woman who married a 300-year-old pirate ghost needed an exorcism after he possessed her.
Oh yeah.
Did he possess her with his seed, or did he take over her consciousness?
She says he
Which kind of Ghostbusters level of
This is better
haunting
than the
is
woman
this?
who married the bridge.
Yeah.
She says she was nearly killed by her ghost husband after she broke off their relationship.
Oh,
Oh
No.
shit, he's an abusive pirate.
The woman claims she underwent an exorcism to rid herself of the spirit of her former lover after he had, quote, possessed her.
As you do. Divorce and exorcism.
She's like,
hand in hand.
I quit going to work. I kept jerking off into socks and watching like YouTube videos.
Amanda Tagaw of Downpatrick, Northern Ireland, who has previously worked as a Jack Sparrow impersonator,
What?
is now warning others about casually dabbling in
Look, I
spirituality.
can see it. Look at her face. I can see Jack
Pull her
Sparrow.
up on
in that.
Casually dabbling in spirituality.
Does this look like Jack
equals
Sparrow to you guys?
Fucking
The
a ghost you need to
eyebrows
divorce.
and the heavy eye makeup.
She looks more like Artemis from It's Always Sunny than Jack Sparrow.
And what does she mean by warning? Does she is she a public speaker at high schools and shit, like warning kids away
Yep.
from dabbling
Kids,
in spirituality?
Don't marry
Your
ghosts.
superintendent paid me $380 to tell you not to fuck a ghost.
In 2016, she married the ghost of a pirate. Funnily enough,
Was this recognized?
Funnily is in
by
the article,
state?
by the way, and I don't think Funnily is proper, right?
I don't know.
Funnily enough,
No,
named
it's funny.
Jack.
It would be funny
Oh.
enough. I'm going to tell you
Funny
guys.
enough, named Jack, who had allegedly been hanged in the 1700s for privacy in the Caribbean.
Piracy.
Piracy. I like privacy in the Caribbean a lot.
Piracy in the
though.
Caribbean.
He put up a privacy fence, and they were like, "No."
Amanda claims that after
Get a rope.
Amanda claims that after 2 weeks of marriage, she started experiencing health problems. Honestly, just to kind of interject, this woman doesn't look the healthiest.
No.
She doesn't look bad, but she doesn't
It
look
also
fucking
seems
healthy,
Listen,
right?
like
guys,
there's some mental
Take a look at her.
health
Does she
issues.
look healthy?
I don't
Any-
think it's because of her ghost
No.
husband, though. I'm just going out on a limb
Honestly,
here.
it's because she's suffering from dehydration. Because this bitch is thirsty enough
Yep.
to marry a ghost.
Yep.
Oh,
She
shit.
can't do it. That was a rip.
That was good.
I was going
That was
for a
fucking
million
good.
more
The
today. Thank you. I
47-year-old
appreciate it.
woman, who is no stranger to spirituality and communicating with dead, began to worry that her health issues were due to being possessed by her husband. Quote,
I'm possessed by my dead husband.
I'm sorry, but you would know.
Who was dead when we got married? That's the
would
funniest
know.
thing about this is that he was never alive.
He was dead
Yeah,
the
he
whole
was
Also,
dead
time.
the
the
whole
whole time.
thing with possession is they fucking possess you, so you can't do
right.
anything.
Yeah.
So how is she gonna go tell somebody that she's possessed unless this ghost enters and
She
leaves?
This
said-
seems like a Steve Martin movie from the 80s where
Yeah.
she's like slapping herself in the face.
Yeah.
Like, don't hit me, Carl.
Or it's like Split. She's got two personalities. One of them's a ghost pirate.
She said, quote, I know the symptoms of possession, and part of it is ill health. After the spirit
Okay.
I got a runny nose. I got a ghost in me.
after the spirit of her dog Toby was apparently aggressive towards Jack, which is of course her ghost husband.
She's just
Wait.
surrounded by
her
Wait.
fears worsened.
She needs to go out and meet some new people.
She's married to a ghost
She has
from the
a ghost dog.
1700s
She has a ghost
who
dog.
lives in the house with her, and she has a ghost dog
Yep.
who doesn't like her ghost husband.
Exactly.
Just want to make sure we're on the same
'Cause
page.
he's a
We're
pirate.
on 100% the same
Okay.
page. I
What
almost
makes it really awkward is that the ghost of her English teacher is just like he wants her, but he knows he can't get her because
Yep.
he's like it's like
Yeah.
and so it's just all these ghosts around her. All the time.
she began to experience
It's
frequent
terrible.
health problems after being, quote, intimate with Jack. And before long, she was admitted to a hospital with sepsis.
Did you say frequent ghost problems? No.
Frequent health
Problems after
problems.
being intimate with her ghost.
The ghost.
Jack,
Ah,
which I
you
never
know
said
what?
the word ghost, but
Few people know this. Ghosts are like 98% staph infection.
Should not be intimate.
That's all
with
they
them.
are.
she said that she almost died and she was in the hospital for a week. I had to take off my wedding ring when I went into surgery.
That's just what they do when you have a surgery.
You have
They
to take
must
off all
have-
metal.
They must have cut off the energy link between us because I felt totally different after the operation.
That implies that it's a
What?
ring that the ghost
felt
gave
like-
her.
Yeah. Where did she find it?
What she means
Otherwise, she just went out and bought herself a
She
ring.
just bought it for herself. That's all that.
She had health problems long before this
is
ghost.
what this means is it's what, like
You don't just get sepsis all of a sudden
Yeah,
unless you have
yeah.
like an external.
she got
wound.
sepsis from the needless surgeries related
Yeah.
to ghost fucking that didn't happen. That's the problem. They were like, hey, you know what? You got state certified insurance. Not that I'm against that. But yes, we will treat your venereal disease from your ghost husband. That'll be $48.
Amanda eventually decided that ending the relationship was the best thing for her health. But after telling husband Jack of her plans, he threatened to kill her if she went through with
Oh
it.
shit.
It was terrifying.
Can't trust them ghosts.
Amanda said, it was terrifying seeing a completely different side to the lovely spirit I had seen before. But I knew in my heart that if I didn't get rid of him, my health was getting so bad that I was probably going to die anyway.
But then she could be with him forever.
yeah, exactly.
I'd also just like to say that this is a ghost of a male pirate from the 1700s.
Yep.
Do you think he was exactly kind and understanding of a woman?
I
I
do
think
want
he's been, for his time, he
Let me
is
tell
super
you.
progressive.
I'll tell you right now, Jack eats box page.
Oh, yeah?
And you
Big
know
time.
what? He don't come till you come.
All right.
Yep.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, he doesn't come at all because he's dead.
There you go. No, I imagine he is of the time when the female orgasm was a myth. We're just literally never even
He's like,
spoken
"Arr,
of ever.
see the doctor once a month for
Several
a,
instances,
have a box
even
full of
today,
bees
it
held
still
up
is
to
a
your
myth.
box.
There you go.
In December,
Pure
Amanda
myth.
went through with an exorcism and is now rid of her former partner,
Thank
Jack.
God.
Did she have
says,
that little
"Poor
lady
woman."
from The Exorcist walk into her box and say, "This house is clear"? How do you have a personal exorcism of your body?
Call the Catholics.
Oh shit!
She says that her health problems
got
have
him on speed dial.
Like
miraculously
those ear candles, but elsewhere.
her health problems have miraculously cleared up since that, and her experience has taught her to stay away from spirits and dead from now on,
So the sepsis miraculously went away.
or just not
After
marry
she
them at
went
least.
to the hospital
Yep.
for it.
What a
I
miracle.
hate when people say that.
That's a miracle,
Doctors
Paige.
made it go away.
No, Paige, God did.
I've quit it. This is what Amanda said. She said, "I've quit it all. I'm terrified, but I didn't go through. Wait, but if I didn't go through with the exorcism, I'd be dead."
Whoever did that
It's a shame she went through with
exorcism is not following the rules of what you're supposed to do with that.
Also, I want to know the details of her exorcism. Did it include like a month of amoxicillin?
Yep.
And like, you know what I mean? Like,
Honestly,
You got to knock
like
everything
antibiotics
out.
Right,
and like
right.
antipsychotics.
all
such
she had
as,
to
like,
do was spill some holy water and guard her bedroom with salt, though. And she would have been
Shit.
good.
There you go.
sounds like my honeymoon.
Yep.
We're kind of winding down. Just got a couple of news stories left here. And this one, I kind of want to sum up. I don't really want to read all this article, but I'll read the headline. Denver is rounding up geese to be killed and donated as meat to needy families.
Delicious.
Why don't they just donate meat?
Because
All meat is meat.
from
meat.
what I understand, and I don't
even
want to...
Connor meat.
Could be squirrels.
I don't
too,
want to
so-
read through all this article,
fair.
but from what I understand, the geese are causing... And Paige, let's be clear. How many...
Soylent geese is geese.
How many bad experiences have you had with geese?
I fucking hate geese.
So, what would you want to do? Murder them and feed them to the needy, right?
No, I don't like this.
So, from what I
This
understand,
doesn't sit right with
How about
me.
just the first half? Murder them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
So
Just
from what
rip
I
the world
understand,
That's
apart.
the way I feel about Eastern Europeans, right, guys? Right, guys? Am I right?
Oh no,
Right?
no,
That's
no.
the most racist thing I can say without us getting in trouble.
geese.
from what the only thing that I want to say is that from what I understand, they're having a huge problem with the geese in Denver, right?
Understandable. They're
So what
terrible.
they're doing instead of just like letting the geese run rampant, what they're doing is they're rounding up the geese. murdering them.
You see,
And-
like there's like the geese get like an ID bracelet and they're like rounded into
You're
geese
next.
nose.
well, I mean that's kind of the thing.
Oh wait, okay.
Let me see. I want to get to the part where killing them will not work in the long run. We face this problem next year as they faced in the past, because once humans become part of the equation, in many cases they've always, I don't know what the fuck I'm reading.
It sounds like this is an article that's like, no matter how many geese you kill, they'll be stronger.
Well, that's the thing.
So
That's
year
kind of what
after
this
year,
is
the
saying.
geese will
Yes.
be back.
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
killing them in the long run will not work, but they'll just keep doing it for
Hang
now
on.
instead of
Can
It
finding
I
sounds
out.
read
like
a
at
line?
the end of time,
Read a
there's gonna
line.
be
Can I-
us,
can I read a
geese,
line
and
from this?
cockroaches.
When it's cold outside and migratory geese come to winter in Denver, Parks and Rec also hazes the birds with what's called a goosinator, a remote-controlled all-terrain vehicle that essentially freaks the birds out so they fly away.
Do they just
Yeah,
drive
that's what I
a
wanted to
golf
get to.
cart?
Yeah.
They drive a golf cart
It's called,
straight at geese.
no, but it's called
Yeah, I
a
wanted to get to that
goosinator.
part.
Why does it need to be remote controlled?
I wanted to
Yeah,
get
no,
to the
just
part with
drive
the
a fucking-
goosinator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Listen, this
So they
sounds
drive a
like
specific vehicle through to the geese.
It's just
one
a golf
fucking
cart.
drunk named Carrie who gets to drive a car at geese.
I want that job.
And
how do I get that job?
he gets health insurance when I don't. This is a problem. America's not fair.
I need that job. Fuck you.
Oh my God! Look
Is
up
that
a
what it
picture
is?
of the goosinator.
Oh, let me look it up. Let
That
me
is
go
the
picture of
dumbest
goosinator.
thing I've ever seen.
We need to
Describe
see
it for
this.
the podcast.
It looks stupid.
It looks like a koi fish in a
this
racist
it?
depiction of an Asian.
Yes, that's
Show
it.
this on stream.
Why does it look like that? Why is that what they went with?
It looks like it can move in grass, water, snow, ice. I mean, and even sand.
Even
I'm pretty
sand.
sure it was like an elementary school competition that they had. Who can draw the goosinator best? And that's what they came up with.
They tried to make a tiger and instead they made a racist dragon.
Yeah, right?
So terrible looking.
Why?
It looks like a 4th grade elementary school project.
There's a
have
little
so many
YouTube.
Dude,
video.
wait, this is just basically a fucking.
It's an airplane.
It's an airplane painted just a little differently.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's
What do you have, Connor?
There's a little video if you scroll down a bit.
Oh, is
They,
there?
they probably
Keep geese
control
away
it.
You
for
can
good.
See it in action.
They probably just tow it with fishing line
Yeah.
because there is no mechanism, right? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? There's
Yep.
like no.
Trying to see it in action
There
here.
you go.
Should I turn the
I
audio?
love how they showed like
It's not
family
like
videos
Westwood.
and they were
Well,
like,
hold
look
on,
at
hold
what
on.
the geese took away.
methods.
We've actually had a trained dog out here hazing geese.
That's-
but they
Why do
cannot
people
come
treat
out.
Canadian geese
They
like
can,
giant
but they don't
rats?
wanna
They're
go out
just
into the lake.
Hold on, this is about geese
They
controlling
used
golf
various
courses.
Different kinds of chemicals. They used to have a product that was from the hot sauce industry. We'd spray it on the turf. The geese didn't like that. They pretty much figure out pretty
I
quick
bet the
what that
grass
was.
didn't like
There's
that
a
either.
flavor called grape and pranolate. We've used that. Unfortunately, that washes off every time it rains, snows, or we irrigate. And there's a product that refracts light off.
What
the
we
turf
need
once
is
it's
tar
sprayed.
poison.
Yeah,
That
right?
works, but unfortunately, it washes off pretty quick too. And then we've also used 3D silhouettes and
So this guy's saying that the only thing that works is the fucking goosinator.
They're not going to move.
Just drive a
It's
golf
the
cart
goosinator
through
that
them.
works the best.
The only thing I don't like about this product is I didn't think of it.
It's not lethal. It's
That's the
humane,
only
so it
thing?
fits the guidelines
Where's my money?
of
Amazing.
wildlife management policy.
I feel like you could use a
Actually
remote controlled
approved by
car.
the Division of
Yeah.
Wildlife Hazing.
Like
Or
the
just a
same
fucking
result.
airplane.
Listen, you
Yeah.
know what you could do is hire 3 teenagers to just go out there
Run
with
around.
like, yeah, with
Give
like,
them $10
Yeah.
each, if that.
Yeah.
to just go geese, we hate you,
Yeah.
and run at them.
It
It's
would
the same
work.
thing.
These are the geese.
Listen, I hate this old man. I hate the goosinator.
Or honestly, if you just fired like one of those racing starter pistols,
Yeah,
Yeah.
scare the
I
shit out of the
guarantee
geese.
you they'd all fly away.
There's plenty of forage elsewhere. It's just not here.
Not here.
Seeing more
Get the
goosinators,
fuck outta here,
the City of
geese.
Arvada's Parks Department thinks they're great.
And we'll put it into.
I'm gonna get one for
effect
work.
in our parks later this winter.
You're a monster.
Fuck geese.
Next year.
They were here
However,
first.
They're terrible.
Hashtag geese first.
No.
A number of other parks and sports complexes.
Jim Wilkins heard about the goosinator from the inventor himself, who's from Denver. He visited some area golf
I think
courses to see
inventor is a
them.
generous term.
Inventor is very
Yeah.
generous because basically what this motherfucker did was put a goddamn foam shell on an airplane.
Yeah.
He put a creepy face on existing technology.
And gave it a terrible paint
And
job.
flew it into some geese.
That's like giving moths with eye patterns like the credit for having eyeballs. You know, like this guy did
Genius.
nothing.
All I want to say mainly is the main reason I had this article on here is because for one, I thought the goosinator remote controlled airplane is
amazing.
hilarious, and two, honestly, I think it's good because fuck geese, right? And not fuck the homeless because homeless people are great
Although,
and
listen,
need fucking goose meat. And you know
No,
what? Goose
no,
meat is
just
one
give-
step away from fucking duck meat, which is a delicacy.
I don't understand the leap we just made. Did I?
Just give homeless people food. It
Give them
doesn't have-
fucking duck. Ducks are so good. Goose is basically
Hey,
a duck, a
Don't
bigger
feed
duck.
them
There's an
Canadian
NPR
goose.
article, How to Cook Your Goose.
How to cook your
There you
goose.
go.
How to fucking beat your goose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
all the options.
I think that they should feed people goose if they want it. You
I
know what I mean?
once lost
I
the
guarantee
lock key
that
competition.
goose, by the way, is much like duck in the sense that it's very fatty and rich and delicious. You read duck page?
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like this person on NPR
I don't
once
like
lost
duck.
a lot cake competition to a woman who fried her potato pancakes in goose fat. So
Goose fat's good,
that,
bro.
that she has no
That's
doubt,
where
or
it's
he.
at.
I don't know
What
who
more
it is.
evidence do you need that you should kill
She.
every wildlife animal you see at the golf course?
Yep.
No more evidence.
Is there do you see does NPR have an article for a recipe of squirrel confit?
Squirrel
By chance?
confit.
Is that a thing?
How do you spell confit?
I don't know. I can only say a couple of things in French. I don't know how to spell them.
Let's just assume. Oh, I see squirrel mail configuration. That's all I'm getting. How do you spell? We got to figure out how to spell that.
Look up duck confit.
Honestly, all
But then we still have to. know
It's
how to
it's it's a it's
Honestly-
a duck that's like fried in its own fat. That's what. duck
honestly, the
confit
only
is.
reason I even brought this article up was just to say
It's because you're a monster.
I'm
Goosinator.
for it.
Oh,
the
it's
goosinator
confit.
and the for it. Yeah, like I'm for it. I think it's a good thing.
Confit.
Confit.
That's how you spell it.
Anyway,
You don't pronounce the T though.
Yeah,
guys.
oh, I know, but that's how you spell it. I'm saying.
Jesus.
confit. Let's move on to our final article.
Oh hey, look at them handles.
Final. Oh, don't mention that because nobody can fucking see that.
Squirrel
I'm
confit.
about to show you a video for our final article and our titular article of the evening. What is squirrel confit, Chris or Connor?
Holy shit! There are people out there making squirrel confit.
What's fucking squirrel confit?
It's a squirrel roasted in its own fat,
Gross.
essentially. What?
Anyway,
All right.
let's move on to our
looking
final
at
article
looks
for the
good.
evening, guys.
When we, yes.
This is where our podcast, this episode gets its name. Intruder microwaving butter in Roanoke man's kitchen identified and charged with trespassing. So I'm going to introduce this
I
article.
mean Roanoke.
Roanoke, just to introduce this article with a video, and it's great. Just listen carefully, okay?
Come flying out here into the kitchen, and she's standing right there in front of the microwave, getting ready to nuke my butter. And I told her she better not.
She butternut.
Butternut.
Oh!
Oh, that woman looks so sad.
Oh, she looks
charged
so
with trespassing. Police just released
not
her name today.
okay.
ABC 13's Valencia
Her
Jones
life is
led
not
the
one that I
newsroom.
wanna-
What led up to that in-home
She
confrontation.
nuked
meth
my
led
butter.
up to that in-home confrontation.
We should start a GoFundMe to get her a better face.
A butter face?
Better face.
Mary Saunders trying to melt
With any
butter
luck, she's
in
already a
his
butter face.
microwave. He says he told the woman to sit on the floor and he called the police. His Facebook post all about it was shared hundreds of times.
Oh, no.
One photo on there shows her sitting on the floor before officers arrived, and another one shows her handcuffed. He gave his advice for any future intruders and guests who decide they want to make themselves at home in his kitchen.
BYOB means bring your own butter.
Natty Light.
McGuire also recommended everyone stay safe and, of course, keep your doors locked.
Okay.
What was the meth head fucking melting butter for? Was she baking?
To drink it.
Was that it? Did she?
He should have said, sit on the floor and enjoy your nice
Guys.
cup of butter.
You need the nutrients.
Guys. This is the kind of story that makes me realize, like, just how fucked we are as a society.
I like how the article's about 6 lines
So
long.
the man, for those of you who can't see it, the man in this story, I think he's joking, right? Like he seems to be like
I
making
think
a
he's
joke.
being
He seems to
lighthearted
think
about
it's
it.
funny.
That's why he said she butter
BYOB
not.
means bring your own butter.
Chug
Well,
Natty
where
Light.
does he
Chugs
live?
Natty Light.
Where
He
does
was
he
making
live?
puns the whole time.
Roanoke.
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 Rhode Island?
That's
I don't know
Virginia.
where it is.
Roanoke
Yeah,
is.
Virginia.
Is it Virginia? Listen, I'm only like 900 miles off or something.
Same thing.
Hawaii.
But this just goes to show you that everywhere there are fucking weirdos.
Let me
Right, meth heads.
Especially in that.
We're
Oh,
fucked
meth
as
heads.
a society, guys. Look, I don't want to get all heavy at the end here, right? But like, there is nowhere where you don't have weird women in black tank tops having too many pills and trying to microwave
Yep.
butter in your house. This is.
I want to know what her
the state
end
of
plan
America.
was. Like, I'm really. What
I
was
think
she
she
doing
was
with the
thirsty.
melted
Drank it.
butter?
Yeah.
I think she was
She was
thirsty.
just
Out of all
thirsty for some
things,
fucking
no.
margarine.
Guys, I'm going to
Ooh.
depress all of you. What she was thinking is, I'm on a lot of drugs. I'm not fat. Maybe this guy will just like take care of me if I make butter in his house
Yep.
and blow him and shit.
Baby.
Like, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I don't know if you can say
The
that.
most nutritious meal.
Not only can
Melted
Melted
I,
butter.
I did.
Okay.
Genius.
Well,
Listen, if
listen
you're-
to me. No,
Dan,
you listen to me.
Dan,
Listen.
Chris,
you listen to me.
Dan.
No.
When's the last time you were
You
like,
listen to me.
let me live in your house and make butter,
You
sir?
listen to me.
I'm lost and I'm a lady.
Christopher
that's,
Brimmer.
That's the
Listen
instinctual
to me.
like last stand
Christopher
of like a methed out
Brimmer.
weirdo lady.
Would you let somebody live
You know,
in
she
your?
had no, I wouldn't.
Would you let somebody live in your house if they
Made butter for
if
me.
they made butter for you?
No.
No.
Melt the butter, or
I,
else it gets the hose
but
again.
honestly, the reason being, I don't use that much butter.
Okay, that's a stupid fucking reason.
So if you did use more butter,
Listen, if I used somewhere between
No, we
2,000
also.
to 4,000 pounds of butter a month,
You
then
guys
that's
keep
kill.
talking like she's not churning butter. She's literally melting his own butter.
Making
She's
melted
not
butter.
producing it.
and you know what he says to that?
She's
But what I'm
just
you know what
melting
he
it.
says to that though?
What's
you
that?
butter not.
You butter not.
bring your own butter.
But this is what I'm saying.
BYOB, baby.
BYOB.
In her mind, she's just like, hey, man, I'm here making butter for us. Just let me be here forever and exist.
Be fine.
Just
It's
toss
fine.
me some
It's
celery
fine.
and
It's fine.
ravioli
It's
a few
fine.
times a day and I'll be fine.
What was she gonna do with it?
I still
I
think
need
she was going to
answers.
drink
She was
it.
going to make him garlic bread, which she assumed would be enough to pay her
She
keep.
started with the first.
Okay.
I'm not
the
saying
first
she's right
ingredient.
or the system's right. I'm just saying we're all fucked. It's the apocalypse.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that concludes our news segment of the podcast. Moving on from news, we're moving over to Connor's Unsolved Corner. Connor, what do you got for us this week?
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to press play because
Okay, just go ahead and
I don't
press
want to
play.
spoil anything. So
Yeah,
got a 32-second audio clip, and then we'll dive in.
let us know when you're ready to go.
I'm ready. You ready?
Hit it.
20th of March 2003, the United States invaded Iraq in Operation Freedom. It was the start of a bloody war that would last almost 9 years and claim more than 500,000 lives. US President George Bush said the invasion aimed to disarm Iraq of weapons of mass destruction, to end Saddam Hussein's support for terrorism and free the Iraqi people. But the weapons of mass destruction were never found.
That's all we wanna hear.
Okay, I'm familiar with the Iraq War, no doubt.
Okay, so tell me what you know. You don't have to go in detail or anything.
Without
About
being,
the Iraq War?
without being too political,
Just
right?
without
being
we're-
too
we don't
political.
we don't like politics.
What I would like to say is that the Iraq War is
September 11th, 2001.
No. What I would like to
Good start.
Thank you. That's the only appropriate start.
what I would like to say is that the Iraq War was, from what I can see, a largely oil-driven war that did not really help eliminate the Taliban or help make Iraq any safer.
That's correct.
That's
Now,
my non-political
We got to
response.
preface this by saying this is a satirical podcast.
Listen.
Okay? Because this one, I usually do cryptids, and those are funny, but I'm running out of funny ones. Most of them are just kind of stupid now. So we're going to start this off. We're going to go way, way, way back in time, okay? Ancient Mesopotamia.
Wait
All
a
the
second.
way
All
back.
right, guys.
All
Listen.
right.
Listen, all right. I'm going to speak for our audience right now. And I'm going to say we just had a 3-minute intro to the Iraq War.
Yes.
And the first step is to go back to Mesopotamia.
Yeah,
Correct.
makes sense.
I feel like this is the beginning of a 3-hour podcast.
Take a step.
Where we talk about everything from like Bigfoot to Roswell to like cuneiform to the Anunnaki.
Wow!
Don't get into spoilers
Hold on, I'm not
here.
trying to get a spoiler. I'm just saying to like who's that guy who was just on Joe Rogan recently? Bob Lazar. Like I feel like we could be getting into such a deep pile of mud right now.
We
You
are.
didn't know
We're
what you were
going
walking
to.
into?
I didn't.
You didn't know how intense this was
Do I
gonna
need to
fucking
clear my
get,
schedule
buddy.
Yeah.
for the next 1 week
Yeah.
to discuss everything?
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
We can,
We'll be
like I
getting
said, we're avoiding a lot of
Okay.
the political side of it because
That's all of the sides, though. That's what I'm worried about.
Oh no, this is I'm gonna read you some true history. It's
Okay.
absolutely
This is
100
fucking
History.
facts, bro.
150% true. Okay, so we all know about ancient Mesopotamia, right?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yes, we are all
We know-
experts on Mesopotamia.
Okay,
Continue.
yeah. Every single one of us certified.
Every one of
We
us.
drank
yeah.
the-
Not just us, but
the
our
toe.
listeners.
We drank
Ancient
the toe.
Mesopotamians.
Everyone
Now
here
we
is
have the
The toe
familiar.
touch your lips, you know
Yep.
about
We got
Yep.
certified.
Amenhotep.
Okay, so there were a race of beings known as the Sumerians that lived in ancient Mesopotamia, okay? And in case you don't know, which I'm sure all of us know, ancient Mesopotamia is located in eastern Mediterranean.
I knew that.
This particular section was between the Zagros Mountains in the northeast and the Arabian Plateau in the southeast. Today, this is mostly modern-day Iraq. Parts of it are Iran, Syria, and Turkey as well. Okay, so these Sumerians, they were one of the first civilizations to ever exist. About, 5,500 years ago, something
Yes,
like
if you're
that.
looking to me for confirmation,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
an
you're
expert
the-
on this
you're the
model.
expert.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so
Proceed.
these ancient race of beings, the Sumerians, they worshipped gods called as you
The
stated
Anunnaki.
earlier, the Anunnaki,
Yeah,
right?
they were some big old motherfuckers.
Yeah, so
Anunnaki.
They was tall. They had good DNA. They were like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we found some weird monkey people on Earth. We're gonna fuck them, and they're gonna mine our gold.
Oh, shit.
Holy
you're
shit.
Yeah.
spoiling everything,
I am.
except they didn't
Listen,
find them.
I know all kinds.
They
of
created them.
Oh, shit.
shit. Yeah.
They created us. Anyway, so let's not jump ahead. Let's go for this. The Sumerians worshipped these gods called the Anunnaki, and the earliest records of them come from tablets, clay tablets that were found with transcriptions written on them.
Were they cuneiform?
They might have been.
Yeah, they probably were.
These were supposedly written during the reign of this leader of the Sumerians named Gudea, I'm assuming is how you pronounce it. He had a pathetic reign, just 20 years, fucking loser.
Although
Fucking loser.
2144.
I was gonna say
That
10,000
was
years
like-
ago. That's like a million.
Yeah,
years
That's
ago.
right.
a long ass
Right?
time. Yeah, yeah.
So basically, in the early records that they have, the Anunnaki is applied to the term Anunnaki is applied to the most powerful and important deities in the Sumerian pantheon. So all of these gods, I'll get into their names. They're not that. We don't need to cover them in depth that much.
We
but
don't have time to cover.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Steve, Dave.
Don't worry.
Steve.
So
Big
basically,
Steve.
they worshipped all these gods. Some of them named. One of them's I got a few names here: Enlil, Ninhursag, Nana, Utu, Inanna, and Enki. All of these gods, among many others, came from a god known as, I've seen it spelled two ways: An or Anu, A-N or A-N-U, and he is known as the sky god.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right, all
okay.
right.
So-
I'm with ya.
In about 2500 BC, from what I read, the Sumerians began to worship Anu's, son, Enki. Okay, so we're getting to the crazy-ish part. Okay, so they start worshiping these gods, totally normal for ancient beings, right? In the 19th century, though, archaeologists uncovered tens of thousands of these ancient clay tablets, just so many of them. They were from Babylon, part of Mesopotamia. This is where it starts getting a little mental. So if you have anything you need to say it now, just to preface this. There was an author, a guy from Azerbaijan named Zakaria Sitchin. He wrote a book that publicized translations of 14 of these tablets. These tablets were related to Enki, the god that they worshipped. The book was called The 12th Planet. Okay? So in his book, he claimed that the Sumerians said, after worshiping the Anunnaki, that they came from a mythical planet called Nibiru. And according to his translations, it is said that Nibiru has an elongated orbit of 3,600 years above.
Isn't Nibiru the
Planet X. Dog,
Planet X from
potentially?
Well, isn't that from Scientology? Am I correct?
It might be.
Nibiru?
No.
Isn't Nibiru where the
Ghost aliens come from?
ghost aliens come
No,
from?
they come from Xenu is the
Xenu.
dude on that planet.
Xenu is exactly what I'm thinking of. Sorry to interrupt with
Yes,
that.
stop taking
You're
Zach
okay.
Zechariah.
Well, Zach's not
Sessions.
here, so
No, his name's Connor. Oh my God, Connor.
Zach? No, it's because I said
I'm sorry,
It's
Connor.
because I said Zechariah.
Connor, I'm so sorry.
It's because I said Zechariah.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah.
That's the author's name.
Zachariah Sitchins. Yes,
That's what he
damn
started
bitch.
to
you're
say.
not Zach.
No,
Oh my God.
not gonna
He's
say any
well
more.
aware he's not Zach. by
I'm
the
not
way.
going to
That's all
say
we'll
any more
say.
on the topic.
Anyway,
I'm gonna go commit ritual suicide. For that.
No.
That's okay. It's necessary.
It's necessary. All right.
Okay, so he wrote this book called The 12th Planet that says that, based off of his translations of these tablets, the Sumerians claimed that the Anunnaki came from this planet Nibiru, which has an elongated orbit of 3,600 years. So he claims that when the planet was close to Earth about 450,000 years ago, they needed gold. That's what you were talking about. Mm-hmm. They needed gold to repair their planet's atmosphere.
I know too much about this, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. So they needed this gold, but for whatever reason, these super advanced race of alien beings couldn't mine the gold themselves.
Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
I get it.
So instead of doing that, they created a race of beings, which eventually all the dominoes would fall into line, and eventually the Sumerians would be that race of beings, or I guess just humans would be
us.
But they landed in Sumeria, so that's why, So these they created these race of beings to mine the gold for them mainly, so that they could repair their Earth's or their planet's atmosphere. And over time, they became the Sumerians, and they gave them a bunch of gifts of ancient technology or alien technology. I'm sorry. And so, while there's absolutely no doubt that the Sumerians were way more advanced than we give them credit for. I mean, I have a few notes written down. They created extremely accurate mathematical calculations for the orbit of Jupiter 1,400 years before Europeans did. And they also created trigonometry 1,000 years before the ancient Greeks. Obviously, this all relies
That makes
on,
them assholes, though, right?
I suppose so.
Like,
yeah.
you could get a C in trig like 4,000 years before the United States was a country. That's
so now
terrible.
the first part of this that I want to open up for discussion is, do you think this? Let's just say that this is true. Okay, let's just pretend hypothetically that
the Anunnaki were
this
like,
is
give
true.
us your gold, monkey weird people.
Do you think that this is potentially one of the reasons why humans of all time periods have obsessed over gold? Think about it.
Do humans
Egyptians,
obsess over gold?
Yeah.
Think about the
always
Egyptians.
have.
Really?
Think about the Egyptians. They painted. Didn't
about
they
the-
paint like corpses in gold or something like that before they mummified them or something stupid?
yes.
No, it was on their sarcophagus.
Yes, but
That's what it was. Yeah,
but
yeah.
Humans are
So
obsessed
there was
with
gold jewelry
and we're, as a species, we're obsessed with gold and diamonds, which are like the two things that are the two main minerals,
Right.
that you get technology from, essentially.
And still to this day, though, most of the gold is just basically melted down into jewelry.
Yeah.
And
Right.
albeit a lot of computer parts and things like that too.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that, like, that's the thing about gold, is it's like, to speak to your not your argument, but the argument, right? Is it's like, is it that humans are like, oh, gold is pretty, let's also put it in computers?
Yeah.
Or it's like you're trained as like a slave species
Exactly.
to be like, let's get gold as much as we can, and then you're like, well, we got a bunch of it. Do we make like our rings out of it?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, to be fair, like, is gold even rare? I know diamonds aren't. Like, but is gold even rare?
Gold's a lot more rare than diamonds.
I know. Yeah, I thought that was the case.
Diamonds are a controlled market. They have to control them so the
there's like
value
more
remains
diamonds
there.
than like a lot of things we have less of.
Yeah,
that we don't value as much. Like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't there like less rubies than diamonds? But like diamonds are more expensive than rubies
That's because of the controlled market.
Yeah.
So is your question if it's possible?
That we're obsessed with gold because of the Anunnaki?
Is that your question?
Yeah.
The
I'd
answer
say so.
is yes, dog. That's
Sure.
my answer.
Yeah, right?
Well, if you think about it,
Like, why not?
if this ancient race of beings that, for one, I think it's very suspicious. I got to mention again, satirical podcast. Don't necessarily or at all believe any of this. But let's say that let's pretend for a second that you're one of the first humans to ever live, right? You have no idea what the fuck's going on.
I'm Chris.
Okay.
1.0.
Yeah, there you go. Chris 1.0.
one. You're
Actually,
Chris
you're
number
like
one.
beta. You're below.
Yeah.
Beta
Chris
Chris.
Beta. You're Beta
station.
Chris.
That's not what I said. That's what Dan said.
You're a fucking beta.
Okay, so let's pretend. You have no concept of any of these things, and these beings come down from the sky.
I'm just
you
walking
would
around.
worship them.
I'm setting fires.
Yeah,
I'm fucking
yeah.
my cousins. I'm eating grapes.
Exactly,
I'm like, hey,
exactly.
I'm a
And they say
proto-human.
They
Teach
say
me something.
go mine us this material, right?
Yes.
We need it. Go mine it. Bring it to us.
Yes.
It has to be true.
Yeah.
It has,
to be true. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so that brings us to the theory, okay? So we're going to go...
Wait, we're not even into the theory
No,
yet,
I'm
huh?
just giving you a little bit of background.
Okay,
on
that was just the
historical
setup.
background.
Hey, are
Yeah.
you familiar with the Iraq War and the Anunnaki?
That's a little teaser.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Iraq
That was
War,
the
that's
teaser?
just like the tip.
Yeah, that was just
Alright.
the tip of the fucking
The tip was
iceberg, right?
900,000 years of
Just
human evolution.
Just a little bit of the tip.
Okay.
Okay, so let's pretend, okay? These Sumerians,
I'm good at pretending.
or we can just take it as 100% fact, because it is fact, sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100% fact.
Based off of this guy, this crazy Azerbaijani guy, he tells it. By the way, I got to tell you, there are all scientists just come out and outright say that his translations are completely wrong of these tablets, okay?
That doesn't
So-
surprise me much. I'm just
Go
gonna
figure,
say,
right?
But let's base all of our suppositions moving forward
On this
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, there are.
entertaining.
Oh, I got more. There's not just this guy. There's a article out there written by a guy named Dr. Michael E. Sala.
Do you think he's a for realsies doctor?
Yeah, is he a
this
real
This guy
doctor?
actually
He's a real
is
doctor?
like this guy. I think it kind of ruined his career.
He's a doctor of podiatric medicine.
Let's see here. Let's look him
Podia?
up for a second. So he was an assistant
show this?
professor.
Listen.
Yeah, if you want to.
His picture's way too saturated for me to take.
How would you
him serious.
describe? Click on him real quick, and then how would you describe
A real
him, guys?
doctor doesn't need that much saturation.
How
in
would
his
you describe
photographs.
this? What this guy looks like?
Where's the wiki link? It's
For those of us
it's
who
only a
can't see
Google
him.
Books.
He looks
link.
like Mike Pence and Joey Tribbiani had a baby together.
That's a really good description.
Yeah, I'm good at summing people up into what other two types of dudes
Oh.
would make him as a baby.
There he is with the Earth. That's how you know he's a for real smart doctor.
So keep this up because here is his article. Okay, this is a legit research study. Okay, an exopolitical perspective on the preemptive war against Iraq. And now, I read all of this and feel infinitely more dumb.
This is a
having read
.org
this.
website. Hold on, this is a
But this is
.org,
but
motherfucker.
this is just the place. Like when he actually released this in on February 3rd, 2003, it was like a legit study.
Are those spaceships?
Absolutely,
Okay,
they
all
are.
right, cool.
And if you notice,
And the word Iraq
Iraq
floating in the
is,
sky
is,
above
you know,
it.
it's a little bit
shit,
cheesy.
it's
Yeah.
Scroll that up so everybody can you enlarge that so people on stream?
I didn't
it's,
catch that.
It's a bunch of UFOs around the White House, and then it
There's
says
like- yeah.
Iraq and Baghdad.
There's like
It's a
clouds
map.
from like an Indiana Jones
Yeah,
like
yeah,
transparent over,
yeah.
and then the
Exactly.
map of Iraq both
Yeah.
laid over it.
He nailed
Yeah.
the opacity.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a whole study about him. We're not even gonna touch this. Don't
This
worry
this
about
earned
that.
this guy
is
like
like-
11 continental
man.
breakfasts.
Yeah. Right. So this is him going through all of his analysis, I guess is what you would say, on what brings us to our main topic, okay?
Jesus Christ.
The United States did not enter war in Iraq for any other reason other than the fact that Saddam Hussein had access to a Stargate that was given to the Sumerians by the Anunnaki.
Did
Like that show Stargate. SG-1.
did
You had me
Stargates-
at Iran has
That's
a Stargate.
not a show, that's a documentary.
Okay.
did Stargates exist before that show? Was
Do
that a
Stargates
thing?
exist now?
I mean, honestly though,
I mean,
like
like the idea of them. Was it a thing that
The
Stargate...
Sumerians had them, so they must have.
no, but like, where does Stargate originate from?
It originates with the James Spader movie from the mid '90s,
Right?
called
Right, yeah.
Stargate.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I was
yeah,
trying
yeah.
I'm gonna,
to figure out.
as the elderly person here to speak on the behalf. I never heard the term Stargate in my
Until the
life
James Spader film.
before the James Spader movie Stargate with Kurt Russell, and
Okay.
I loved it. And I can see why 10 years later, people my age were like, "Yeah, maybe the Anunnaki."
There you
Yeah.
go.
They,
Had
you know
a
what?
Stargate.
For real, if you know with enough calligraphy, you can travel across space.
Yep.
You can.
I mean, that James Spader movie is real fucking bad, right?
Here's no. I love that movie.
You like that movie?
I love. Listen, man. I was like 11.
Liking it also doesn't make it good.
No,
I like
no,
plenty of
okay.
bad stuff.
First off,
that's a really good point because liking it does not
Yeah.
make it good at all.
I love Stargate. It's a bad movie. I was 11. It's like whatever, whatever you guys saw at 11, Like,
Yep.
I saw it in the theater. The sound was good. I was like, you got me. You had me at not being creepy James Spader.
Yeah.
But to be fair,
the
you
same-
also really like Battlefield Earth, don't you?
I do, for the same reason.
Don't shame him. There's nothing wrong
Yeah,
with
no,
this.
listen, you can derive a lot of joy from things that are not technically even a baseline
That are not
proficient.
even technically well done.
Yeah, even things that like fail on all technical levels of achievement.
You're allowed to enjoy it.
Yeah, and Battlefield Earth is one of those. Stargate, though, I would argue, is a well-crafted mid-'90s film.
For the mid-'90s,
Yeah,
yes.
like it may not hold up scientifically.
It doesn't.
Hey, if you get
Or
yourself
does it?
if you get yourself a stone circle
Oh,
and you line up Orion's
You just
belt
blew my
with
goddamn mind, brother.
Damn.
And I smacked a microphone because of it.
Into my face.
What were you saying?
Listen, there's always collateral damage when you're talking about
That's Stargate.
breakthroughs on an
Yep.
astronomical level.
yep.
All right, so there's
Okay, so
Stargate.
let's go back
in
in,
Iraq
okay?
or Iran.
Oh, we'll get there.
Well, what I want to
Okay.
know before we move forward,
Yeah.
so I know how engaged I'm going to be.
Mm-hmm.
How actively involved is James Spader in the reality?
Well, that's the thing.
He's
This
a
is all
lizard
kept
person,
quiet, so he
so-
could be behind the scenes pulling.
He could
all
be
the
balls
strings.
deep like he was
Right.
in
You
Maggie
know?
Gyllenhaal in the movie
Like
The
I'm
Secretary.
saying, how do you know that movie?
Okay, what a
weird-ass
fucking
movie.
How do you
deep
know that
reference.
movie
What a-
wasn't real
It's a weird
footage?
movie.
I'm going to
Deep
sit back
cut,
and just
buddy.
go along for the ride at this
Okay,
point.
okay,
I'm in. Let's go.
Yes.
okay. So let's
Now I know that this is all true.
quickly jump back. Okay,
Facts.
I mentioned how the Anunnaki gave the Sumerians tons and tons of
Buku money.
yeah, money. That's what we'll go with.
Buku money.
Buku money.
They gave him money and slaves,
Buku money.
They gave them alien technology, right?
chromium and gold.
One of these pieces of technology that they gave was a Stargate. Now, I'm assuming everybody knows what a Stargate is, but in case you don't, you just walk through it. You can teleport instantly to any other gate.
It takes
No
James
matter
Spader
where
from
it
here
is.
to there.
Yep.
And
And
if
I
you
hope-
haven't
No
seen
matter the distance,
Yeah.
you're there.
and if
I
you
hope
haven't
that's the
seen
Wikipedia definition from here on out.
if you haven't seen the
if
James
it's not, we'll
Able
make
to
it
take
that.
James Spader from one end of the galaxy to the other in a flash.
if you haven't seen the James Spader film, refer to Stargate SG-1 or Stargate Atlantis.
James Spader is in neither of those, just for the...
Yeah. Oh, did I mention James Spader?
Yeah, you just literally brought James Spader up in the sentence before.
Connor,
that.
just continue.
Okay, so
just continue this story.
Sumerians had an ancient city named, I assume it's just pronounced U-R, okay? It was an ancient city-state in the region, and in today, it's about, I had written down 370 kilometers southeast of Baghdad, okay? So we spent a lot of time in the region,
It's
okay?
like popping on down to Poplar Bluff.
So, the theory goes that there's a ziggurat or a temple in Ur, which is a very very popular one, and I guess the city now is called Nasiriyah. I'm terrible at pronunciation, so we'll be okay. But there's a ziggurat there, and that was an ancient city-state, and the city's patron deity, out of all of those that I named earlier, I'm not sure what you're doing over there.
Listen, mind your own business over here.
The moon god, Nana, Nana, yeah. So in the 1980s, you guys know who was pretty big time in the 1980s?
Ronald Reagan.
Well, I was thinking of the region, who was pretty big
Oh,
time.
Kofi Annan. No, wait, he's the head of the UN.
I was leading
20 years later.
I was leading more Saddam Hussein.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
of course.
So
Iraq, yes. Since that's what you were talking
That's what
about
we're talking about.
specifically.
So Saddam Hussein started restoration work on this ziggurat that was
Okay.
in that ancient city. Okay.
Okay.
You know, if you want to, I'll get a picture up real fast before we.
This
continue.
makes sense. The ancient aliens gave him all the gold spray paint for his toilets.
Because it's actually
in
pretty.
Baghdad.
It's actually pretty cool looking. Here's like a.
I
Just
mean-
like a. That's a terrible fucking picture. That's a rendering, obviously.
That's like that.
But
You know what
this
that
is-
reminds me of? It reminds me of the back of. It reminds me of the back of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
You remember?
Sure,
you remember
sure.
how From Dusk Till Dawn ends with like the.
Yeah, the bar, and they show the back. Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. Like that's the most accurate thing I could describe.
It's pretty
it as.
cool, actually. You know.
Wasn't Saddam's whole thing though here? Like he was like, "Hey, this is going to be like the pyramids of Egypt."
I think he thought that.
Yeah, he was like, "People are going to love. This is where civilization started. Was with me,
So
Saddam."
now-
Get a Saddam cup. It's
Let's go back.
$9. You get free refills.
Let's go back to
Good deal.
Saddam, okay? 1980s, he started restoration work on this, which freaked a lot of people out in the area because this is like an ancient monument. You know, they don't want some fucking guy coming in ruining the thing.
They're like,
and
don't tuck
pretending
point
like
in
he's
my Jesus temple.
Yeah, you know, I mean that's fair.
That's a fair
I'd say
point.
you got to be careful with that kind of shit, right? So during the restoration of this temple, now there's a few ways this goes. We're not sure exactly what happened, obviously, but he either while doing restoration work on this temple, he either reactivated the Stargate or learned something about
Right.
where humanity came from, more or less.
Right.
Okay.
This needs to be an animated series.
It really does.
Might
Saddam
be.
discovers the origins of humanity,
Yep.
and he's the good guy somehow.
And he wanted to let the world know.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you do
If I was Saddam,
if you
trying
turned
to
on the
let
news?
humanity know
If
where
you
there
turned
is-
on the news and they said, not necessarily Saddam, but just somebody, somebody found proof that aliens came down and gave us ancient technology, and that we worship aliens and not gods. Huh?
What would I do?
Yeah.
What would you do, Chris? What the fuck would you do,
Would
buddy?
that shatter
I would-
your world?
I would go to work the
No.
next time I'm scheduled and still have to pay my phone bill.
That's kind of how I feel too. Like, I don't give
it
a
doesn't
shit.
matter, yeah.
It doesn't affect me.
I'm fucked. I gotta pay a
I
water bill no
already-
matter what happens.
I already think there are aliens out
Yeah.
there that are just bound to show back up at some point and just say hi.
Yeah.
Not saying that this is true. I
They're
think
gonna be,
this
hey
is all
guys, guess what?
bullshit.
We gave you
Yeah.
everything and you
So what
fucked it
is-
up, you pieces
Yeah.
of shit.
What
we
is
hate
the
you.
evidence we have that he discovered something in the 80s?
Oh, there's tons of evidence. We
Ooh.
don't know any of
Oh.
it because they won't tell us.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hard facts.
The evidence that we do know is that this one guy translated all of these tablets. And
He
this
found,
is what he
of
says.
There
Of
we
course
go.
he did.
Yep.
Of
There we
Saddam
course
go.
found
he fucking did.
an alien toothbrush, and you know it's an alien toothbrush because it was this long.
Mm.
So I've got a couple quotes here.
They had the Anunnaki. They had giant heads.
Oh.
They were like,
I've got a couple quotes. Remember that Michael Sala guy that I mentioned? He had written that article,
Yes.
that whole study. A couple quotes that he said. The Bush administration recognized that Hussein had some very, very valuable, relevant information concerning the ancient history of the planet, either technology or texts, basically confirming this, and he was going to release this to the
Uh-oh.
general public. And he also said, essentially, more and more people are coming forward saying that they have been involved in these classified programs where technologies are used quite regularly and that they are found all over. Iraq is just one of the places that they're found. They are also located in places like Iran and Syria, which is why there is a push for America to go into Iran and intervene in the Syrian civil war.
Okay.
All this is very significant in what drives international conflict.
Stargates?
Yes.
All right.
Stargates and the origin of.
And now
Humanity.
that's all the notes I have, so I figured we could just talk about it.
So I feel like most of the times that these like ancient aliens things come up.
Oh yeah, they did an episode
It's-
on this, by the way.
Well, it's like
Oh,
I'm not
Ancient
saying it was aliens, Dan.
Ancient Aliens on History Channel did an
Yeah.
episode on this. What you're
This
saying?
and not just there's been like tons and tons of YouTube videos all removed now because I think they're fucking crazy.
Because like YouTube's getting harder
just-
with the fucking
Yeah.
spread of
I feel like
misinformation.
anytime these things come up, it's just like you said. They were like, oh, they discovered trig like 4,000 years before Europeans did. It's constantly just like white people can't fathom that brown people
Yeah.
did something better and sooner than them. And so they're like, obviously,
see it.
it's aliens.
I can
That's
see
the
it.
only explanation. Like, I feel like these are all
100%.
incidentally deep-rooted in racism.
No, I kind
I
of
can
agree
see
with
it.
that.
That's always my issue with these. Ancient Egypt? How could they do that? Took white people forever to figure
But,
that
you
out.
know what I
Must be
mean?
aliens. Like, it's just bullshit.
Well,
It's
I'm gonna
bullshit.
I'm gonna push back.
Pushback. Give
Here's
us a
my
little
pushback. Is that like white people literally didn't exist whenever that building was made? Like, as you know what I mean? So like, I get what you're saying as far as like the modern conception of like, but what I think it is that people are like naturally do not want there to be a boring answer to things. That,
Right.
like,
So they're constantly
Yeah.
seeking out like the most
yes, like people.
far-fetched,
Extravagant.
fun
Yeah.
answer.
Like people
Yeah.
don't want to be like, hey, you know what? There wasn't then radio or internet or fucking entertainment. Period.
Yeah.
So it's like when there was no entertainment, like people sat in the dirt and they would fuck, and then they're like, oh god, I'm okay. We fucked like 3 times and it's noon, and you have 9 children now.
Because all they used
And I'm
to have to
tired.
do was back in the day was fuck. Like,
all you could do was
Fucking
fuck
farm
and
and
make
work.
shit out of dirt. Like
To be
that's
fair,
all there was.
side
And so
note-
that's all people did.
Side
you know?
note to kind of detract from what you're saying a little bit, but
Are
I
you
don't
saying
know.
there wasn't dirt or fucking?
No,
then?
no, no. What I'm trying to say
Fake
is
news.
What I'm
Everyone
trying to
was
say is
celibate.
that actually fucking has gone down as people have more shit to do.
Yes.
Basically, like people have more shit to do. So like, basically, and I don't want to insult anybody, but like poor people fuck all the time because they have nothing.
Which one of us is
nothing
he
better to
insulting?
do. I'm not insulting anybody.
I
I'm
would
not
listen,
insulting
to be
either
honest.
one of you. But what I'm trying to say is like the amount of like reproduction, at least amongst the wealthy, has significantly decreased.
Now, I just want to go back to the theory for 1 second and just tear it apart.
Listen. I do. Well, hold on. I just want to back up and say,
Yeah.
I like to fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who doesn't?
That's all I want to say.
Besides, like,
That's it. That's my interjection.
Listen,
my
Dan just
interjection.
wants to say, hey, there's no one more virile or reproductively important than me, Dan Agers.
I like
Back to
just
the,
to say.
I
back
just
to the
want to say I
theory.
like to fuck. Okay.
so let's just jump back in for 1 second and immediately discredit this whole thing on one simple statement. They say this planet that the Anunnaki are from.
Planet X.
Now let's. Oh,
Nibiru!
actually, you know what? Okay, I just thought of 2 sides of this argument. Okay, let's say this is real and it has an elongated orbit of 3,600 years. We would have seen it so many more times by now.
True.
This planet, and we can detect that shit. So
Are
unless,
they saying we're hiding it, or like are they like flat earthers, like
unless-
NASA's evil?
Unless they are detecting it and not telling us, you know.
We all know how evil NASA
That's probably
is.
what's happening.
Fucking scientists can't trust them for shit.
Or they didn't get the gold they needed,
Okay.
and the planet died.
Fuck.
Wait, why did the planet need gold? Are they feeding it to the planet? Is the planet alive?
I'm not an Anunnaki. I have no.
What,
fucking
what
idea.
about not having gold would make the planet
So
die?
the whole idea behind the Anunnaki needing the gold is that fuels that it's that they were a hyper technological society.
Mm-hmm.
They used that gold to escape that gold.
to escape that?
Not that gold. They use that gold to make, and the precious metals to make all of the shit they need to escape us forever.
Ah,
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Listen,
Their planet was dying.
This
They
is-
needed
this
gold
is-
to go.
this is a rare
Makes perfect
subject where
sense,
for
I would
some
say,
reason I am well versed in this conspiracy theory
That's
than your
good.
sources.
It's perfect.
But that's the thing is it's like
Usually nobody's well versed in the conspiracy.
I
theory
know,
we're
but
talking
we all
about,
know
so.
that I have a friend who you guys know.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
is super.
Would love to have him
I have
on
a business,
sometime.
but like half of my income comes from a guy who
Chris.
loves this shit.
Chris would love
And he
to
argues
have,
with me all the time.
Would love to have him on sometime.
Dude, if you had Timmy, it would be like a Joe Rogan podcast.
it would be
like
That
good.
would be
It would
fucking
be really
great.
fucking
Yeah.
funny.
But,
Anyway.
but for real, like, so the whole idea is that it was like we were like the slave race that got them all of their platinum and gold, and they got everything they needed, and then they literally took Planet X and just like flew away with it. Like they were just like
this is ours now.
they were like, we're done. We turned our planet into a thing from a Marvel comic, and now it can fly as a separate
Yeah,
ship,
we're done.
and we're done. We don't like you. We're way taller and prettier
Yeah,
than you. We
yeah.
have wings. We're beautiful. It's kind of like the Swedish.
Oh boy,
Oh boy.
Jalala Star.
Who the fuck is Jalala Star?
She is on the Nibiru and
She is not on the Nibiruan Council. She is not a 9-foot tall alien from another race.
Are they 9 feet tall?
I just saw her picture. Yes, they are, and she is wrong. She is not. No.
So it sounds to me like you kind of believe this theory.
Do
No.
you? Do you kind of believe this theory?
No, I don't in the least bit. But I listen. Right, I had a real job once, and I lost it. And
You had a real job once?
And
Welcome
I-
to the
and
fucking rest of America,
I
buddy.
had a severance package, and I used that severance package to spend 6 months studying
on Nibiru?
Sasquatch, the Nibiru, and organized crime in
Okay.
America.
Makes sense.
So those are the three
So what
things
is-
that I have any insight
What
in.
is this guy's response when he's called out on his translations being bullshit? Has
You
he said
can't be
anything
called
to
out on
it?
bullshit when you just made it. There's no fact in the
Yeah.
first place, right? Like,
I'm pretty sure he doesn't care.
Yeah.
You
He's
just
sticking
never-
by his story.
All
he's like,
right,
pull up
all
the
right.
Webster's Nibiru
Yeah,
dictionary
right.
and tell me that I'm wrong.
Oh wait, I wrote that too.
Fucking prove to me that I'm wrong, guys, and I'll concede. right?
Shit.
That's the thing.
Well, it's like
is
a matter of like translating a language. You can't just
and there's
make
not
it
enough
like
and there's not enough examples of that language. So really, they could
Who's-
say
who's
could
to
say
say
what
he's
he
wrong,
says,
right?
You know,
Oh, geez.
that's what's. I mean, obviously, Saddam didn't have a fucking Stargate.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, when they were
That would've
hanging him,
ended
he would have yelled.
He would have
Yeah.
He would have yelled, "We have a Stargate!"
He would have won the Iraq
Right.
War.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, maybe that's where Osama was hiding.
Stargate.
The
In
Stargate-
a fucking Stargate? Are you
Huh?
kidding me?
Huh?
Chris, what do you think? You
No,
sound like you don't
Listen,
believe it.
No, no,
He's
no,
also
no.
dead.
Huh?
It's not that I don't believe it.
came
It's
back?
that you opened my eyes to a completely different possibility than I'd ever considered before.
Yeah.
It's quite possible
Yeah.
that Osama was hiding just on the other side of a
So
liquid
who-
Of a
Stargate.
Stargate, right, Paige? you
Obviously.
agree,
I'd
right?
say the chances
yeah,
are
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good.
I'd say.
Definitely.
I'd say about 95%.
And you know what?
That's
the
what he
reason
was
they got him is because he got homesick.
Yep.
Yep.
He was like, "Oh, I miss Earth. I got
Yep.
like a bunch of kids over there, and there's food that's not weird lizard things."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's the
Or
only
gold.
The
That's
only
all they have
food
to
they
eat,
ate
right?
in all of
Whatever you're about to say
Stargate
is-
was that weird lizard.
Okay.
They ate a giant iguana, and that was the only meal they had in Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That
just
sounds
saying.
really unpleasant.
Yeah, it
It's a
is.
giant lizard
That's what it's like
for
to
every
visit
meal.
Florida.
Also, that poor lizard.
Well, we did, Florida, from all the stories we've had on the podcast, sounds like not a place I want to visit.
Well, there's two things to eat in Florida: palmetto bugs and
pussy.
meth.
And meth.
palmetto bugs and pussy.
3 things,
There
it
you
appears.
go.
Oh yeah,
Are palmetto bugs the big flying?
they're giant cockroaches.
Right? Are they the ones that fly?
Yeah, no,
they're,
they
flying,
definitely
they're flying
I
cockroaches.
don't like that. All right, so obviously Iraq has a Stargate.
Yeah,
is what we've
obviously.
concluded,
That's
right?
what we've
yeah,
concluded
okay.
from
And
the
that's
end of this
that's
podcast,
why
right?
we have spent more money than we have on education,
It's
occupying
not for
Iraq.
oil.
Yeah.
Occupying Iraq
Listen,
for
And
20
it ties
years.
in with the whole Bush did 9/11 thing.
I started off this
Yep.
segment by saying that like the Iraq War was a largely fruitless war for oil, right? But turns out it was a largely fruitful war for
Stargate
Stargate.
positions.
Yep.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So who else has a Stargate?
This whole thing depends on what
Iran.
Japan.
Syria.
Iran, Iraq, Syria.
I read somewhere in some YouTube comments
feel
that
like
there
if
was
you have
one under a
Stargate-
mountain in Colorado or something.
See, that
No.
makes more sense. If you
No,
have
no, no.
Stargates, they shouldn't be just in neighboring countries.
This is the problem.
But that's where
Like, maybe spread
that's
'em
where
out.
the Anunnaki landed, though.
Listen, I'm going to tell you as an expert on the subject, that's horseshit.
That's
What?
horseshit.
There is one Stargate per planet. It's like a port into a major city.
Oh,
I played No Man's Sky. That's what that game's like.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Same thing.
You
It's
get
history.
you get one Stargate per backwoods
'Cause there's
swampy
no need.
planet.
There's no
All right.
need for
We're
another
we're
one.
basically Dagobah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's it on Earth, you know. You all you get is one Louisiana before you only get one Stargate.
And then you got nothing left.
you know, yeah. If we had no Louisianas, we'd have 2 Stargates at least.
That's
Well,
fair. They don't want to waste them on
We
us.
only have what 3,600 years to wait until Nibiru, assuming that it
Yeah,
was here
yeah,
today.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. That's the thing of that too. Is it's like, hey, if your argument is that like, hey, wait 4,000 years to see if I'm right, you
Yep.
never,
Yeah.
You're
cares
never
if
gonna be
you're
wrong.
Yeah, you
Who
can't be that
gives a
wrong.
shit?
You know.
Which means he must be right
Yeah.
Yep.
because there's no way to prove that he's wrong.
And that's the best way to prove.
Anyway,
somebody's
so
And that's how we all.
If
got
you can't
tenure
prove
at a
somebody's
local
wrong, they're
university.
right, right? That's
That's
the
how it
moral.
works.
That's the moral of this story.
That's how
right?
it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Connor's Unsolved Corner, and that wraps up our podcast for the
Was
evening.
that unsolved? I feel like we solved it.
Oh no, it's very unsolved.
It's there.
We
have
don't
to
know
wait.
for
We have to
sure.
wait until
We
we
all-
come back.
I thought the
Yeah.
4 of us just booked a cruise, like an ocean liner cruise to the Stargate.
No, we have to go to this
Okay.
Ziggurat.
We have to actually go there and see if, like, we have to solve it ourselves.
Yeah.
Basically,
Alright.
if we
That's
can't
the
solve it,
next
that's an
podcast.
unsolved Connor's
The
Corner.
gang goes
and this
to
is
Iraq.
gonna remain.
Unsolved.
I hate that so much.
You don't like that? I think the audience really likes it. 1, 2, 3. This is gonna remain unsolved.
Oh man, I'm not the audience, but I hate that.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this concludes the PearCast episode 3. I want to thank my guests, Paige Eckstein.
Hello.
Paige, you got anything to plug?
Nope.
Nope, of
Not
course.
at all.
Connor Potts, you got anything to plug before we go? I know you got at least Twitter.
I got Twitter. The Lord Otter, I think, right? That's what it
2
is.
E's? 1 E?
In what? Otter?
The.
Oh.
Oh shit,
Oh,
motherfucker! I've
good
been
question.
talking to you on the internet for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that's
knew that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I do off and on.
Anyway,
I think
Depends
it's
on where
1
I'm
E
at,
on
you know.
Twitter.
the THE
And 2 E's
Lord
on
Otter.
Twitch because it was already taken.
Okay. Well, we can deal with that.
I know you're doing that. I'm Not Quite Heroes on literally everything.
You can find her. She is on Twitter
I'm on
at
everything.
Not Quite Heroes.
I don't use Twitter. I don't remember my login.
She doesn't use it, but she does have it.
Yeah. All social media is me at Not Quite Heroes.
At Not Quite Heroes. You can find her on Pinterest,
Sure.
Instagram, Ravelry.
If you did in community, hit me up. Not
Hey,
Quite
don't
Forget
Heroes
about
on
Dan's
Ravelry.
Etsy store.
I
Yep.
don't have a fucking Etsy store, but anyway, you can find Connor at the Lord Otter
on my
Twitter.
Etsy store.
Go to Dan's Etsy store where you can find mummified toes for
Yep.
drinking.
And chair
Got you
dildos.
covered. Chair dildos.
Anyway, Connor's
To use
at
at school
that
exclusively.
at the Lord Otter. He also has a Twitch under the same name
I stream every once in a
with
while.
2 E's on Twitch.
Twitch is 2 E's.
Twitch is 2 E's. The THE. Twitter is the Lord Otter. Chris. Chris, you can find on YouTube.
You can find me on the internet. I haunt you by day and love you by night.
You stream.
I
with
am
me.
all but nothing at the same time. I am that which is something, but hello. I'm done.
You stream with me
Stop midway
fairly regularly, right? You stream with me kind of often.
As often as I do.
As often as Chris is able to do. You can find him on my on my stream. That's Twitch, not Twitter. Twitch.tv/DanPearBig.
Yeah. All you all thirsty bitches know where to find me.
You can also
Come find
find him on
Chris.
YouTube. I don't. What you want to plug your YouTube channel?
No, I don't
Okay.
care. That's fine. No.
I guess I'll plug my Twitch, twitch.tv/DanPearBig. You can follow me on Twitter
That's where you're at now.
DanPearBig. If you want to join the Discord, continue the discussion offline, make suggestions for this podcast, say anything you want, join the Discord, go to discord.me/YouTube /DanPearBig, and you can also check me out on YouTube. Is what I meant to say.
And beginning from
Do it, check 'em
starting
out.
after this show, we're gonna have weekly discussions on the Anunnaki, and,
Yes.
and we're
We'll be
going to
planning.
send out crews to explore
We'll be planning.
regions.
Every week there'll be one new piece of evidence.
Yep.
Just saying, they have
Yeah.
like aliens and
I
hieroglyphics
don't want to.
and shit.
I don't
so-
want to spoil next week, but Connor has an Anunnaki boot.
Yep.
I forgot to.
And we're gonna
I
shotgun
didn't
beers
forget.
out of it.
They
I
have
did.
s-
We already discussed. Next time I will bring tinfoil hats.
Yeah,
if I
bring
have
those
something
fucking
like that.
tinfoil hats
We'll be
in for our
prepared.
We can all
conspiracy
put them on
theories.
over our
That'd be
headphones.
great.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
ready.
thank you so much for tuning in to the podcast. We will see you
ThePearCast.
next month. The PearCast, I should specify. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will catch you later.
Dan's
Way to-
never
way
eaten
to
a
be
pear in
on
his
brand.
life.
I've never eaten a pear. That's not.
I could eat a peach for hours though.
So fucking gross.
Give me a bread and butter woman who only wants the simple thing.
Give me a bread and butter woman who likes her meat and potato.
Meat and potato.
Good juicy tomato.
Juicy tomatoes. Give him a bread and butter woman.